Hey, eat a fucking carrot. Guys, we could have had a good production from the beginning, but that's not. Neal Brennan, am like America, in which I will do the right thing after I've exhausted every other option. I wanted it simple, wanted backdrop, did it. So we've got a table now. You can't see it till Friday. No, you'll see a clip. We've got a table now. We're working on the lighting. This used to be white, this backdrop. Now it's gray. I don't know if you know anything about photography or video, but white fucks things up. Made Bianca's frame troublesome. Not Bianca. Is our cameras racist? It turns out they are. Hi, I'm Neal Brennan. So Bianca looks better now, so go back to masturbating to her instead of just squinting at the frame.
Okay.
Bianca, you did not go to a wedding this weekend, but oh, by the way, we did our love episode a week and a half ago. Because I'd like to say, again, feeling sorry for myself, what a good boss I am. We didn't do the show because Will couldn't come.
We didn't do it.
We didn't do it because Will
needed
to go on a break. A lot of producers would go, well, fuck you. Guess what, bro? People don't tune in for you, bro.
But I'm not going to lie, though. If I was called Buddy 100 times,
By
I
the
might
way,
need a
okay,
break.
fine. There's a Kevin. No, Buddy. There's a Kevin Hart commercial coming out where I call him Buddy, and let's see how condescending it sounds.
Okay.
It maybe sounds a little condescending. So it's been a week and a half. It did feel like a vacation, and I have to do a podcast for a week and a half. Bianca, what did you do?
Well, I decided to go home. I was like, you know what? This is the weekend of my cousin's wedding in Austria, in Österreich. Couldn't go. So instead, I'm going to visit my mom and my family. I actually had to do something up there. And I was like, oh, this is a perfect amount of time. I have nothing to do. Go up there. Straight into a fiery inferno. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I just laughed about it.
Did you drive?
Yeah, I drove. I just laughed about it when I was like, man. So I escaped one, potential dangerous situation.
This is climate change Earth.
I woke up when I was driving there. That's when I knew the fires were up there, but I just didn't. I knew that was going to happen, but I didn't realize how close they were to the route I had to take to get to San Jose. That's where I'm from. 408 for the South Bay. Thank you. There were so many fires. I didn't realize how far spread out. I knew about it, but there's so many that you literally are like, oh, this is the newest fire, It's not like...
Are there like different smoke supplies or something? Like, how do you know, driving from here to San Jose, when is it start getting bad?
It got bad, so when you go to San Jose, you have to cut through the state to get westward by a highway called the 152. So that goes through Gilroy. So as you're going from the 5, you have to get westward and go up.
This is in your big rig that you drive?
No.
You got to go up Gilroy. You get on 152.
No. So on the 152, I just saw actual smoke. And I'm like, and it was orange and it was 2 p.m. and everything was orange. And then I just pulled over. Well, when I went to rest stop, I looked at the fire map and it was a mile.
I pulled over. I needed to whiz. All my whiz bags were full.
No, everything was, by the time I got there in the afternoon, it was dark and orange.
In Cupertino.
Cupertino. Yeah. Yeah. It was weird. It was very scary. And then the next morning, like the shades were kind of open. And when the sun rose, my entire room was orange. Orange, the color orange from outside.
I know.
But it was just weird to wake up with a filter on.
Yeah.
Everything looked like sepia.
Did
it was
you look
living.
amazing?
I mean, I look.
Was it amazing?
I have so many photos.
Take it to the next level?
It just was like living in an old timey photo.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was very strange, and it made me really sad.
I'm a Cassandra from way back, but this is the new
Wait,
world.
what?
A
The fuck does that
Cassandra
mean?
it's a Debbie Downer from the 1800s.
A Cassandra.
I actually think it's from Greek mythology, as a matter of fact.
You know I'm a Cassandra. You
You
dropped
know
that
me.
so
You know I'm a
casually. I was
Cassandra.
like, from Wayne's World?
Yeah. Was there Cassandra?
Yeah, and
was
her name was Cassandra.
that's Tia Carrera.
Tia Carrera. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was Cassandra.
Great. So yeah, this is the new world, and the same way that America, all these countries, you're not allowed to you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen with climate change? But it's just going to be like Sri Lanka, you're flooding. Sorry, you cannot come into our country because we're at capacity. And there's going to be
Well, in that case, I'm happy to be in America. Plenty of space.
space, but rising tide. I mean, we're talking about 50 years from now, but Canada's gonna build a wall.
They should.
Yeah,
We're weird.
that's a nice way of putting it. America's a weird.
Shut up.
America's wild.
I was listening to this report when I was up there about the wildfires. And it was saying that there's so many factors. Like, one, the fact that they didn't handle COVID enough in the prisons made them, there's so less prison firefighters available. Another thing that I thought was really interesting, for example, Oregon, like, we have a fire season, which is so strange. Marin does the funniest bit on it.
Yeah, I thought about the bit a lot. Actually.
I did too. I was like, there's fires and ants.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Oregon was not prepared. Like, we have a lot of equipment, a lot going on. The helicopter that can hold the most amount of water, like their biggest helicopter, is deployed in Afghanistan. So they just didn't have.
Whoops. That was a close one.
Whoops.
Whoopsie. Who said fire? What?
So Oregon's fucked. And the most interesting thing I learned is that the reason why, so there's so little affordable housing that development's going out farther and farther outside of the cities, like urban areas. So to get all this, they have to somehow be insurable. But they're saying that they're coming to a head with the problem is there's so many fires now. Like, if it's going to be this bad, and this is the new thing with climate change, that now insurance companies might not insure those properties, and then they're just rendered useless. So no one's going to like, it's this really weird.
Everything's unfortunately connected, and that's when changes happen. Is when insurance goes, no, we're not fucking covering that.
Isn't that so funny that the whole fucking country is ran on insurance?
Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising. It's
not surprising. It's just baffling.
It's just you can't do in a litigious society.
Right.
It's like, okay, what do you want to do? What could go wrong? You get sued for? Can't do it. We're not covering you. You can't do it.
Right.
Plenty of homeowners, plenty of. It's also like raising tons of. It's just all bad. It's just all bad. It's all bad, and we got to change. You understand?
How? Climate change, man.
Right, but we got to change. We have to change to deal with climate change. I mean, like, we have to adjust because apparently pollution's going to be down like 8% this year, which is like that's not enough. You guys, sorry, that's not for the world is shut down, and like, guess what? We changed it 8%. It's like I was thinking more like 60.
But you know what? There's these like these pro climate change infographics that you see, and they're always like, if we all didn't drive for one day, we could save 1 million fish. And I don't see the benefit of, I don't see as much. I see the benefit of like us sheltering in place during the pandemic at the time. But how quick does it go back to shit?
A day. It doesn't. I did a joke, all those nature is healing. Nature is healing. I saw a dolphin. But it's the most wishful thinking of all time. It's 200 years of us polluting.
Right.
Every fucking day. Garbage, air pollution, sludge, chemicals.
Yeah.
We take off for a month. A dolphin shows up and we're like, well, that was close, huh? problem solved. I said it's like your fat roommate who has a carrot on New Year's Day and says, "Well, that should take care of my diabetes." I had to go after fat people. You know that.
Wow.
You know what I do. They're gonna get it. There's a lot of letters about obesity this week as well, which is pretty exciting. If you're just tuning in. Anyhow, so we're in a sticky situation. The world. Now, speaking of sticky situations, gang. You know, Michael Cohen and Bob Woodward both wrote books about President Trump. Here's what I like to say about Michael Cohen. The fact that journalists and talk show hosts, Seth had him on, have to talk to this guy like he's legitimate. Because here's the thing people don't realize about Michael Cohen. He would still be the president's lawyer if he could be. I believe that right now he would go back to switching places between his life now and his life from 3 years ago. It was his identity.
Yeah.
And the only reason he stopped is because he got raided.
Right.
He didn't stop by his own volition. He stopped because the government said you have to stop. And now he's like, that was wrong. Right. What I was doing. First of all, I'd also like to say that Michael Cohen is like if a Billy Joel song and a Men's Warehouse had a baby on the side of the Long Island Expressway. That's who he is. He's such a fucking Long Island mook. There's no other word for it. He's a mook. Guy's a mook. Please, I mean, I know you have to have him on, but he should apologize twice in every sentence. He should say like, "Hey, America, I'm sorry about what I did to help the president. It's good to be here, Rachel. Hey, America, sorry about what I did to help the president." Every fucking sentence he should repeat himself because he's so loathsome.
Yeah.
And his behavior was so criminal and aided a cartel in taking over the government.
Yeah. And doesn't seem... all these people are only sorry they got caught.
Not remorseful. He didn't check into rehab on his own. He checked into rehab because he got fucking caught. That's not...
He also was only writing this book to fucking make money.
Yes. I don't mind. I get that.
No, that's fine. I just mean like his original means of making money are tied up. And I think they tried to freeze his assets at some point. So I think he's just like, he's a scrappy Long Island dude. He's like, I got to do what I got to do.
He's a scumbag. He's a scumbag. He's a Long Island scumbag. So
sounds so bad. I don't know.
I know it sounds bad, but it's like so what? Bad. It's like from. It sounds racist.
It sounds racist. I'm like, mook?
Anti-Italian, I believe. It's
ooh, is that racist?
Someone in Mean Streets. First time I heard it, somebody called somebody a mook in Mean Streets, and he goes, "Mook, what's a mook? You can't call me a mook. A stupid or incompetent person. That guy's a fucking mook."
Mook.
So.
Is Fanuc?
No, that shit sounds racist. Hey, now you're being racist.
I watched too much Sopranos.
Okay. So, fuck him. Again, you got to talk to him. But don't forget, he still wants to be doing what he did.
Yeah.
He would in a second. If Trump called him today, he would do it.
I heard that Trump, the reason why they like do business with each other is because he's like a
amoral.
Kook. Yeah, he's just like a kook lawyer, and Trump ran through so many lawyers, and he was the one that would like do the shit.
He finished like 300th out of 325 in his class, and it was a shitty law school. And
what was a law school?
I don't even remember.
Is there shitty law schools? I mean, I think
you could look it up, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Will.
Bill's on vacation.
You should check your emails.
Wait, are there shitty law schools?
Yeah.
That seems weird.
Everything.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Trump's lawyer went to the worst law school in America. That's the headline.
What?
Thomas M. Cooley Law School at Western Michigan. Wow.
That's the worst. It sounds weird.
It sounds worse than it.
Cooley law.
Yeah, he's amoral, and he was like a taxi cab lawyer.
Yeah.
He was a lawyer for immigrants to get medallion. I mean, this is it's a mook.
He's like, I got a guy.
Yes.
He's like, got a guy.
Give me 20 minutes. I'll take care of it.
Right.
He also pronounced the word aggrandizement as awfully as I've ever heard it.
Say it.
Aggrandizing. Self-aggrandizing. I texted Mulaney and I go, I found a lot of the hello pronunciations a little broad until I heard Michael Cohen say aggrandizing.
Right.
Aggrandizing.
Aggrandizing.
Fucking piece of garbage.
Move.
But I believe every word he said.
I actually believe
No,
people
I'm
like that.
I'm not saying he's a liar. I'm just saying, please, there should be some price to pay for what a piece of garbage he was.
Yeah, that's the only time I not sympathize with Trump. But I'm like, dude, this guy's a scumbag. Like, he is a scumbag. He's just saying.
Cohen or Trump?
No, Trump's a scumbag.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just like, dude, he did the dirt. Now he wants
Yes.
to write a book and act like, oh my God, this guy is so terrible. You guys.
Right. This
like,
thing I told him we should do. It goes from we to he, I'm sure, at a certain point.
Yeah, for sure.
He's some fucking mook.
I said it already and I'll say it again.
Thank you.
What?
Woodward.
Do you know? No,
Uh-huh.
but in Michael Cohen's book, do you know some of the allegations? I didn't.
What's in his book that's not in other books?
That's what I'm saying.
He
Is there
actually
anything?
says like there's kind of not. He had nothing to do with anything Russian.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's a lot of the
I
Stormy
believe it.
Daniels stuff and a lot of Karen McDougal, and
Yeah.
Karen McDougal was the disappointment that she fell for it because she's cute.
She's cute.
Yeah,
I'm
that was
like,
a tough
really?
one.
Is Woodward
And also the fake Obama that Trump
Oh my,
hired.
that is so interesting.
It's so crazy.
That's so interesting to me.
Yes.
The fake Obama that
Yes.
he hired to bury.
It's so
And then didn't
weird.
the fake Obama quit?
Oh, I don't know.
I think I read that.
Yeah.
But that's
I mean, quit
kinda
what?
sick. That's like when people go to, places
some
where there's
weird
like homeless
cuck
people and
shit.
like, let me beat you up for $100.
No, it's weirder than that.
What?
Because
No,
it's
it's
the
not.
president.
Oh.
It's the president of the United States and a billionaire hiring, or whatever, a rich person hiring a look-alike to yell at him. It's like a partial
It's
like
so
cuck
funny.
shit and like immersion therapy
it's,
or something.
It's so fun. Like, I'm so jealous of whoever gets to learn this part of U.S. history. Like U.S. government.
I mean, they're not going to believe. I mean, there's going to have to be somebody like, I swear this
actually
happened.
happened.
I
No.
swear this happened.
They're going to be like, all right, tomorrow, kids, bring in, everyone find a tweet that President Trump tweeted and we'll talk
That's
about
funny.
it. And then everyone's going to be like, it's
Yeah.
Kofifi.
Kofefi. Yes.
Go
And
Fefe.
people were fine with it. Then they said he was kidding. Yes. It is a,
It's so
thankfully
fun.
there's a couple podcasts that these kids can listen to in the future.
Hello. Hello,
Yellow.
children.
Yellow. Woodward wrote a book also.
That one, the snippets were interesting.
The recordings.
That's what
Yeah. So Trump knew about the COVID, how bad COVID was in January. February 8th is when that recording's from. And but the interesting thing about the recording, he sounded intelligent.
Oh my God, that's what I thought.
Yes.
I was like, I believe this. You actually sound coherent. You don't sound
You
like you're
sound like a intelligent person.
Yeah.
Like he didn't sound like a mook for once.
No, he didn't sound. He sounded so. I believed him. I felt like they were really having like a regular conversation. He wasn't hiding anything. He was being really truthful. If he would have literally just done that, just that. What? I don't understand what's.
Yes, because if you listen to Trump's speech pattern, it sounds like he's talking to a child publicly.
Publicly, yeah.
Like one day, like a miracle, it will disappear, and you won't like. But most of what he says is like that. It's
Yeah.
like sing-songy like a child, like you
Yeah,
talk to a
yeah.
child.
I could share.
But you realize that he's 73 and had money his whole life, and other businessmen would be like, "The fuck are you talking to me like this
Yeah.
for?" So yeah, you guys sounds competent. You wouldn't be terrified to work with him.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be terrified.
No.
That was the shock. But the fact that he knew and downplayed it is just so insane. I don't know if they're going to do it. I pitched a sketch to Roy Wood for The Daily Show called Trump Home Security, where when there's a break-in, they will not alert you because they don't want you to panic. And eventually, the like a miracle, the burglar would just disappear. But yeah, it's the what I came away with is, and I made an Instagram video about this, is like I just can't. I'm flooded. I cannot. The same way I can't. My brain can't fire serotonin.
Mm-hmm.
It can't even, because of Trump. It can't fire cortisol anymore. I can't get mad. I literally. I try to get mad. What? Nothing happens.
Yeah.
Nothing happens, and I feel like, I mean, people were seconding it. By that I mean liking it. I'm from the 1800s, so it's many
Cassandra.
I get many secondings.
Being a Cassandra.
I'm being a real Cassandra over here. But I hope he loses.
You know, on my little road trip.
Saw
I took,
little posters. I like when people come back from places and go, you know, they have a lot of Trump lawn things.
No, not in the Bay Area.
Mm.
But outside the Bay Area, right outside.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Gilroy either, because there's a lot of Mexican people, even though they're like more agricultural.
Mexicans are more for him than you think.
No, but there's a lot of like farm agriculture workers like that work
Yeah.
in the field. So I feel like they're just kind of like, just
Yeah.
leave us the fuck alone.
Yeah.
But I did stop a few times, and I kept calling it like Broke Man Sturgis. There was a giant bikers meeting,
Great.
like randomly in the middle of Lebec, some bullshit town.
I'll take it.
No mask. I mean, the Trump flags were so. It was at that point. I'm like, I don't know if it's this guy's good for the country, and I believe in him. If as much as it is, like, this is the fucking. This is the horse we bet on.
It's I said I like this guy, and I don't want to seem. It's what do people. Who do people think they are? And they want to be like, I'm a man of my word. When I say I'm for somebody, I ain't no fair weather supporter.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let some liberal tell me what's right and wrong. When you're out here killing babies. By the way, many of us aren't killing that many babies. But that's what it is. It's they don't want to seem soft or that they learned anything.
They'd rather bet on the wrong horse than agree with
than
the
fruity than a fruity ass liberal.
No, it's just not gonna happen. There's a person I know when I was in the Bay, keep it anonymous, and this person is a white male that doesn't pay their taxes and smokes weed.
Okay.
A hardcore Trump supporter.
Mm-hmm.
None of it makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. They just hate liberals.
Yeah.
I was talking to my buddy Devin, who writes for The Daily Show, and his in-laws are Trump people, and he was saying that, and he was in Jersey. He was at the Jersey Shore, and he's like, a lot of Trump flags on these boats, which I want to say to people, can Trump run for president of the sea? Sir, would you mind running for president of the seas? Republicans love money more than liberals love justice.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
But most people who identify as Republican don't have money. Most people.
Bianca,
they have a lot of money.
Again,
there's a lot of money in the
logic to a feelings fight. It's the old.
They're poor and they use social services. Yes. I don't understand that.
Somebody,
I don't get.
This is attributed to 9 different people. I think Alexis de Tocqueville said it, but America is a nation of temporarily embarrassed rich people. So nobody's actually. It's like now I'm poor,
Right.
but I'm taking a class. I got this app. You know, if you fill out surveys at home,
Yeah,
you can be
you
a
make like
zillionaire.
$300 a day.
So
Question.
yeah,
Do you think a lot more people are Trump supporters on the outside? Because I feel like, when you're kind of losing, some people cheer the loudest.
Yeah.
Like, come on, fuck no, fuck
Yeah.
him. Even though,
Yeah.
whatever. It's like, oh, whatever. Fuck it.
will the people?
Do you think
will
it's-
people get into the booth and vote for Biden?
I mean, like, do you think so? We're seeing Trump people more preachy than we are Biden people.
Mm-hmm.
Is that out of just like trying to be defiant? Like, fuck you. So I don't know if the flags represent the amount of people. You know what I mean? It's just you're seeing it more.
I think it's he's more. He evokes more passion.
But I think people who are voting for Biden aren't as pumped.
Of course not.
But
They're
I
not.
feel like there's more. They're just not.
I don't
You know what I
trust
mean?
myself anymore. I don't trust pollsters. I don't trust me.
No pollsters.
I also think that people don't vote. People who want him the first time, it was kind of fun and loose and a little hateful. Like, yeah, he's a little hateful. That's just my guy. Now it's like, no, this motherfucker's hateful, and it's a little fun. Like the
fun is
proportions have
yeah.
changed.
Flipped.
So I think you can make an argument that there's more secret people this time. Because
More
if
secret
you're
Trump or more secret
more
Biden?
secret Trump, because there is a social
Nazi
price
flag,
to
yeah.
pay. There's no that you can't say it's fun. It's like, no, I'm for hate. Which, by the way, 63% of white people are voting for him. So on the record, that's on the record that you're telling a pollster, yes, I'm hateful.
Right.
So when people go, no, I'm like, they're more apt to lie this time than they were last time. So I actually believe it less this time.
I feel like there's a lot of people in Trump circles that cannot admit they're not into it. I just so polarizing
Look,
in the wrong
if you're
circle.
rich, there's no. If to Devin's point, if you like money more than justice, that he's the only game in town.
Look, Democratic. If you vote Democratic and you're rich, I have so much, Neal. A lot of praise. You usually have a lot of praise.
Guys, I don't have to be here.
You.
I don't have to be liberal.
I mean,
I do it for you.
imagine like if it was like vote for this piece of shit, but you would pay so much less in taxes.
Yeah, I get
It would
if
be a
you're
struggle.
I've said it before. So. Greed and racism is a wonderful American political platform, and that's what his platform is.
Yeah.
It's a reliable, decent platform.
Yeah. Tried and true.
Yes. So, I don't trust any polls.
Yeah.
I just don't trust them. Because I offered to bet somebody $100,000. I shouldn't have said that out loud on election day last time that
And?
Hillary would win. And that person,
Did they ask you for the money?
he didn't take the bet.
Oh.
He was hosting Saturday Night Live that week.
Oh, is it a Crapel?
I don't know who I didn't catch his name.
Okay.
Andrew Gillum. This is a hot breaking story.
I don't know who the fuck this is.
We had an hour. You could have looked it up. Andrew
did.
Gillum is,
thought it was
you'll
someone.
recognize him. He ran for governor of Florida, almost won, and then got caught in a Miami hotel room on having a wild gay weekend, or as gay people call it, just a weekend.
Right.
Because everything they do, in my experience, sexually and partying wise, is next level.
Yeah, they're not fucking
So he got caught probably 6 months ago, and today he came out as he identifies as bisexual.
Okay, Andrew.
Yeah,
What's the problem?
The problem is she ain't winning Florida again.
No, I mean, look, we're shallow in our politics.
Yes.
You have to be perfect, pristine, do the thing that we want you to do so I feel comfortable, even though I don't even know what the fuck you're really gonna
Your
do.
sexuality is never gonna.
No.
You're not gonna make gay laws. You're not gonna make gay traffic laws. Like, you know what this is?
Gay traffic
This is
laws.
gay traffic laws.
We need a purple light.
Yeah.
But so
That's just, it's interesting. This speaks to what we said before: is should more people come out? He will not benefit from this.
it depends on what you're doing. I think. Then again, you're right. Remember we were talking about men.
It never benefits a man to come out.
Yeah, and a woman. I feel like there's something in guys that are like,
I can still fuck her.
I mean,
Yeah.
because if she's really a lesbian, you know.
Yeah. Man, she ain't met me yet. Man, she gay now.
Oh, shut up.
She's seen me with my shirt off.
Girl.
I'm over on Route 153.
152.
152. I'll come through Gilroy. It never benefits men to come out. Buttigieg, I don't think it helped him.
Really? I don't think it hurt him. I think he was such a fucking weaselly villain.
But
That really hurt him.
But the bigger issue, a Weasley villain, he's fucking liberal and he was in the military.
Yeah, but that's not the point. We're not talking about what you are on paper, right? We're talking about what really affects you. What affects you.
But I don't, again, I think Buttigieg is mediocre, but I don't think he's a Weasley villain. I mean, Weasley villain is like a vocal thing.
I just mean aesthetically. He was kind of. What are we talking about here? We're talking about politics. I don't. Yeah. What is so wild about what I'm saying?
I don't think he's a Weasley villain. He comes across a Weasley villain. I don't think politically he's a Weasley villain.
No, but we're not talking about the reality. We're talking about the shallow politics of like the identity politics. Who are you? What do you seem? How do you seem? Like they're the same thing that Kamala brought a fucking hot sauce around to prove that she was black. It's the same shit. It's not that he's politically a weasel,
but
he just came across like
right. But why doesn't AOC? Why don't you describe her as a vain? You know what I mean?
What's
like,
vain about her though?
She did a makeup tutorial.
That's not the crux of who she is as a politician.
But again, your slice of Buttigieg is tiny. And
I'm just saying
while
how he
it's
came across
okay,
in
like
the
fuck
debates.
him, he's a Weasley, whatever.
Right.
She's okay.
No. You're like comparing apples to oranges. I'm just saying in the debates, in the primaries, he didn't come across well. He came across really kind of Weasley, needling people.
He came across as a corporate shell. So Andrew Gillum, there's a guy named Harold Ford in the 2000s who was a politician in Tennessee, and he did all the talk shows, and he was like fine.
Is he black?
He's mixed, but these guys are just like duds. He's a dud. He was a member of the. He's a member of the.
There's not. Most people in politics aren't stars.
Right. So Andrew
It's like a
Gillum's like,
boring-
I'm trying to make this thing, and it's like, you've never won a fucking election. Or he was the mayor of Tallahassee, I think. But
Okay.
But these guys are just not. They're eighth leads in a movie. They're the eighth lead. They're not the lead.
Right.
Leads only. You know who I didn't know? You know that John David Washington guy who's in Tenet?
Yeah.
Denzel's son.
Oh yeah. You
I
know
did-
that
I had
Black
no idea.
Klansman.
No idea.
Oh
No idea. I just thought he was a guy.
no, yeah. He looks exactly like his mom. It's like
Ooh,
weird.
tough one.
No, she's pretty.
Well, no, but I'm saying if you want to be a movie star, you're
He's-
better off looking like one of the biggest movie stars ever. I had no idea that
Yeah.
that he was Denzel's son.
That's funny.
And I've said this before, and I'll say it again.
I said it already and I'll say it again.
I like it when a little black nepotism breaks out.
Love a black
I
nepotism.
love it. I'll love it for about 100 years, then I'll start resenting it.
He has the funniest Denzel impression, obviously, but it's just
I
it's
can
great. I
imagine.
love when sons like JD Witherspoon when he does
Yeah,
Johnny's impression.
that's funny.
It's great. I'm like, thank God this transferred.
That's great. I had no idea.
That's funny.
I
Tenet.
yes didn't. I'll
Eighth.
see it.
Eighth. lead. Politicians. Okay.
Politicians, 8th lead. John David Washington.
Okay, got it.
And yeah, Andrew Gillum's an 8th lead. 7th lead. Fires we covered. We don't like them.
We don't.
You know about this white professor, Jessica Krug?
Yes.
If you don't know who she is,
Dolezal.
she
Dolezal lives.
yes, she's Krugazal. Jessica Krugazal. She pretended to be different types of black. She was North American black,
Oh.
American black, and Caribbean.
So wait, what do you mean? North American black and American
She
black?
said she said different type, like she just represented herself in different ways. Here's the funny thing. She actually makes Rachel Dolezal look like Sojourner Truth.
No.
Because Rachel Dolezal didn't benefit at all.
No.
She fucking got publishing. The funny thing is she
As
wrote
a black
book.
woman?
Yes, she wrote a book and it was on it made the Harriet Tubman list for like best
Wow.
writing about oppression and slavery. It made a list of like she got tenured professor. It's pretty
my
great. She
God.
really did the damn thing.
She's like Harry
Look
Potter
at
in
that.
one.
Look
She
at
looks like
how
Harry
she
Potter.
used to be.
What the fuck? Also, she looks Latina. I mean,
She's
that's
Jewish.
fine. You can look all sorts and be black, but what did she?
I'd prefer you be clearly black though, just for my own receipts, so that I know how racist I can be around you.
Yo, how did it get out? That I don't know.
I think she turned herself in.
She turned to
She
the
did.
authorities?
She turned herself in. She
She
self-canceled.
went to the.
She went to
NAACP,
the yeah,
or-
guys.
And
I'm Jessica Krug, and I've been living a lie.
wow, what makes someone just say, you know, I keep getting asked if I'm black. I'm just gonna go for it. Like, what?
It's Soul Man. It's that movie Soul Man.
Oh my God.
See Thomas Howell.
Man.
Like it's Soul
so-
Man, Soul Woman, which I think they made kind of a version of Soul Man,
Sorry.
Soul Woman. She said to an escalating degree over my adult life, I've eschewed. Eschewed's a tough one to pronounce. You never know. My lived experience as a white Jewish child in suburban Kansas City under various assumed identities with a blackness that I had no right to claim. First, North American blackness, which is what Drake is. Then U.S.-rooted blackness. Then Caribbean-rooted Bronx blackness.
She coming for my people, all my people.
She's old Caribbean. She's old Caribbean gal. I'm not a culture vulture. I'm a culture leech. This bitch went and
She said-
told on herself
Oh, good job.
like a black woman.
No,
She's a little black in how
women are
she
not
told
dry
on
snitching on
herself.
themselves. Who-
But
how is
I'm
that a
saying
black woman thing?
they'll tell on somebody else. She turned it on herself.
She was like,
She did that shit. There's a problem in here. She's doing a versus against herself.
wow. Yeah. Well, the nice thing is she's basically a comedian. She's like, I'm going to tell on myself where you could ever tell on me. Comedians always make fun of
She
themselves.
ethered herself.
She
She
ethered- yeah,
did the. She is white. She is a fucking bum. She does live in
Yeah.
a trailer with a mom.
Yeah, she
Her
roasted
boy
herself.
is an Uncle Tom who shot him named Cheddar Bob. It's Eminem.
Stupid. Is her husband black?
I don't know if she's married.
Okay. So,
That
It's- it
sounds
kinda
like a
d-
fucking solo lie to me.
yeah. Also, man,
Um,
what an annoying thing to have to keep up.
yeah, I don't. Here's something I've been thinking about.
Yeah.
So as much as I say Dolezal got nothing, I think we have to start acknowledging that attention and sympathy are currency
Sympathy
in our
and intention. Yeah, for sure.
in our country. Like as much as you go, what did so and so get from the attention? Don't act like it's nothing. The whole fucking
Yeah, the whole
phone is
thing.
based on attention, and you get it, and serotonin fires and dopamine and all that shit. So we have to acknowledge that as so Dolezal got attention and sympathy that she never would have gotten as a white woman.
Yeah.
Now she did have 2 adopted black sons, so she would have gotten Dolezal did. She would have gotten.
They were adopted? I thought she had them.
No, they were adopted.
Okay. Did you see their... I went in such a deep dive in Dolezal. I found all these songs that her husband made for her. They're on YouTube. It's like, Rachel. You know
Her
my
is
world.
black dude?
Yeah, it's so
Of course.
They're so funny. I love them. I played them so many times. But yeah, she was really like living it. I feel like Rachel was. It's more. Yeah, I get what you mean though. I know attention and all that stuff.
It's not tenure or a book deal, but it's Rachel Dolezal as the head of the Seattle as the Spokane NAACP.
The whitest of the.
It was her and 2 Dominicans was the whole thing. Was the meeting. Because they couldn't find any blacks in Spokane. You get it. I'm not going to explain my comedy deal unless you need me to.
It's good.
The kind of attention Dolezal got, $9,000 a year. It's the current value, street value,
Right.
$9,000. This lady was getting money.
Millions.
Well, not millions, but money.
You don't think?
No, not if your book makes the Harriet Tubman list, it's probably not flying off the shelf.
What? What's that supposed to mean?
It means it's.
Any list helps.
Had you heard of the Harriet Tubman list?
I've heard of the Harriet Tubman list. I've heard of all these like.
I've never heard of the Harriet Tubman list. The like the New York Times bestseller, the Booker Prize, like there's a list, but Harriet Tubman's not. And before Ta-Nehisi Coates, this wasn't a big market, like for like fucking broadside books about racism wasn't a big market. Now it is. Though.
I actually want to know what was her book about that made it. No, read that.
Fugitive Modernities. Kisama and the Politics of Freedom. That's not the name of the book, but that's like it's called Fugitive Modernities.
Damn, I don't know what the fuck.
Which someone should have maybe mentioned that. No black person would name a book that boring.
It was like,
you know what I mean?
Ew, Fugitive Modernities.
No, come on. No self-respecting black person would name a book Fugitive Modernities. Kisama and the Politics of Freedom.
Can you imagine if you brought that to a book club?
Nah.
This is a book.
Nah, we're not doing that. Who else got a book idea? Yeah, we're not doing that.
Fugitive Modernity. So funny.
Yeah. So yeah, but she apparently knew her shit.
Oh yeah, you can be a white professor of African American studies.
Yes. But
just don't pretend you're black.
Yeah, that's all we ask. Just don't pretend you're black.
Please don't do it.
Please, ma'am. So Jessica Krug, rest in peace. Queen.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. NFL started.
That was so weird.
I watched the game in Kansas City Thursday, whatever, where they booed.
Chiefs.
Did you see that one?
Yeah, my whole family loves football. It was so gross.
They hate black people.
Yeah, tolerate. It's the tolerate.
But they only like.
It's like play.
They only like them during this interval.
Yeah.
You want to talk about conditional love, and so.
Yeah, conditional.
I
love
guess
for real.
if you're a player, I'm sure they knew, well, these white motherfuckers don't really give a fuck about us, right? Just
they
generally.
know, especially in the interactions of like.
Very rarely do they just fucking boo a thing about unity. I mean, they were booing unity.
They were booing unity in like a pandemic when there wasn't that many of them and they barely got. And that's what you choose to focus on is boo to this thing.
Yes, these guys are like risking their I mean, whatever, that kind of risking their lives. But yeah, like what do you I wonder if it makes them not second guess or question what they're doing because I think they all understand that it's dangerous, but I feel like that's a level of venom or you can't. It's hard to. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
You can trick yourself into going like, it's a couple bad apples.
The funny thing is people are saying don't politicize the game.
Yeah.
But the government spends millions of dollars. I think
the flyovers and all that shit.
Yeah, and the Pentagon gives the NFL millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars to have like military displays.
Presence, yeah.
So looks like we're politicizing something.
Yes.
Looks like we're using it as
Stop politicizing. You first.
You first. Also, look at all the other. Let's just take Trump. Look at all the things that he has politicized that doesn't need to be politicized. A pandemic, for example.
Yeah.
Every
Boats.
other thing.
So we don't even know more examples. Pandemic and boats.
That's it. And so it's like you can politicize everything. And the moment these people it's so weird.
Raging hypocrites. Raging. To quote President Trump, there's a hypocrite out there and it's raging. You ever see that footage of him talking about the helicopters?
No.
Oh, it's the best. The
where
Daily
he's
Show
like,
did
I can't hear you.
what's that? Speak up. You need to speak up.
Right.
What's that? Daily Show did a montage. It's fucking hilarious.
But it's just funny, like, okay, when the BLM was happening, when it was making news at least, everything was like, take these signs down. Get these signs. Take them down. And the signs are gigantic. All the Trump flags I saw were gigantic. Everyone is screaming. So I just like don't. What were you saying? You promised me about
if the white players did something to commemorate the Confederacy, they would fucking
like, this is our new
bonkers.
holiday.
They need to hire extra security because people will be running on the field to suck their dicks from the back.
You know, I will say,
suck my dick
from the back. I will say, and I hate to admit it, but I was around a lot of flags on the road. That fucking Blue Lives Matter flag is a nice looking flag. And I'm annoyed it's not the Black Lives Matter flag. Because it's not colorful and it just has like one thing of color.
It's the American flag.
It's a black and white with one blue, which is, no, fuck that. But aesthetically.
I mean, Kevin Christie made the observation, find a badder flag than the ISIS flag and I'll give you a lot of money.
That's if you just
one of the great flags.
It's a
Nazi flag. I mean, you want to talk about graphically? The swastika was just a graphic element before they made it about all their stuff, all their garbage, all that baggage they had. Am I right? Boy, oh boy, give it a rest, hitties. That's Hitler. Heck on hitties. So there's a lot of nice flags out there.
It was annoying to me because I'm like, fuck, shut up. Like every time I saw a cop, Blue Lives Matter. I mean, whatever. There's this debate, but it's funny that the hypocrisy that you have to believe in yourself that no, stop, don't do that. Put your flag away. That's disrespectful. Shut up and dribble. Play the game. But then I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want.
Completely selective.
People are just staying in the locker rooms for all the songs.
Mm-hmm. Which is, to me, it's worse than kneeling, but suit yourself.
Just don't play.
If you're against it, it just seems like the kneeling was to protest police violence. Staying in the locker room is like, I don't know what it seems more severe. Like I won't even be around that shit. I don't fuck with that song like that. But by the way, it's white players also. Like, it's a team decision.
I do like that there's more. It's more of a conversation, you know. Than before. It was weird. This would never happen if Black Lives Matter.
George Floyd and COVID.
Can you imagine them even bringing this much?
And they played the black national anthem.
I love it.
I couldn't sing it. I couldn't.
No,
sing
I don't know it.
I couldn't do one word.
I don't love the song. I love that they're playing it.
Even though you don't know, even though they could be playing it right now and you wouldn't know because you wouldn't know unless they told you.
Neither would you.
I wouldn't. Okay, I didn't.
Right,
that's why I didn't say I love it.
Okay. I love
this podcast is canceled.
Whatever.
It's canceled. No,
okay,
we don't have to do it.
Listen,
do whatever you want.
All
right, Dak Prescott, who is a cowboy, not literally, he plays for a football team
Yahoo.
called the Cowboys, said that he went to a therapist and because his brother committed suicide and he was isolated from COVID and he was like, I need to speak to a therapist. And then Skip Bayless, who I got to say, Skip Bayless, who
Do you
I
like,
meant
is
to
he,
retweet.
do people like him in the sports
No.
world?
Skip Bayless is the Nancy Grace of sports.
Really?
He's just like, he's Southern. So he said that Dak Prescott was weak. It's just the
It
dumbest.
was the dumbest, like,
It's just the dumb. And the other thing is, there very rarely do I think these guys try to court controversy. I know Skip Bayless is from alcoholism. I feel like he's gone to 12-step meetings. I feel like he does.
disheveled looking.
He's got that disheveled look that we have when you grow up around alcoholism.
Yep.
You see it. Looking good,
Disheveled
Skip. He's also
spirits.
kind of like way older than you think he is.
Really?
Uh-huh.
How old is he?
He's he's 69. 68. So
Damn, he doesn't look that bad.
Well,
Well,
some
maybe
of them
not
he
that
doesn't look.
one.
Yeah, there's
That
a
one
couple
doesn't
where
look
he
good.
doesn't. So I think that he went out of his way to just be controversial.
Is Dak Prescott? Is he white?
Uh-uh.
I
No.
just don't know what he looks like.
No, he's a proud black man. No, but it's just dumb. It's the fucking dumbest. It's just so dumb.
But so, in the world of sports, like, there's the one yelling guy. He's a black.
Stephen
man.
A. Smith and
Yeah.
him used to have a show together.
Right, I think, and
Yeah.
are they both seen as similar? Kind
Yeah,
of
I think
yelly.
people like Stephen A. Smith more because he's funnier and more charismatic.
Okay.
And Skip is just like a crank. But he appeals more to like racists.
Is he more conservative in his view? Does he?
Yes.
What is his view of?
About BLM? I don't know.
And just the anthem and stuff. I don't know how much
I don't
sports
that
you
I
watch.
don't know.
Okay.
Because again, these guys are morons. They just say shit to get shared. They're not. I shouldn't say they're morons. They're certainly not mooks. They're on their. Skip Bayless has got 1 foot in mook territory. Stephen A. is more doing it for the circus and being funny.
Do you
Skip
think
Bayless to me is not is the kind of guy who never laughs.
just always intense?
Like you've never seen Trump laugh. Think
I've
about
seen
it.
him laugh.
What did he laugh at?
Oh, not laugh.
That's
Chuckle.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's weird.
That you've never seen Trump laugh. That's crazy. You truly haven't. Like someone did this and I was like, oh yeah. Like,
I'm, like,
ha ha ha.
Thinking back to all the
Ha
Apprentice
ha
I've
ha
seen.
ha 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 ha. You've
No.
never heard him
No. Not break form.
No.
He doesn't really break form.
never ran away, never slapped it, never. It's like a type of sociopathy. Skip Bayless is from alcoholism, so I tend to give him a little more, but not much.
Do you think, though, he just was trying to say something?
I think he was
When people
intentionally
just
doing
talk
a thing.
bullshit?
Right. I think he was intentionally doing it to just get
Because the argument's so
get
weird.
$8,000 worth of attention. Honestly, that's
'Cause
it.
the
I think he was
argument's
straight
bad.
up.
It's a
It's
terrible
just a
argument.
dumb
It's like,
argument.
what?
It's also
Don't
like
show weakness. 'Cause-
regressive and runs counter to everything the culture is headed toward.
But it does fall in line with the booing, where it's like, I don't give a fuck what's going on with you.
Well, yes,
Just-
it's not about.
It's not about his race.
I think it's about men don't go to therapy, which is dumb.
Yeah, and in football, just play. I don't want to hear about your
Yes.
sadness. You couldn't work out. Oh,
Yeah.
just fucking play the game. You're the leader of the team. Like that.
Yes.
It's so, I don't know. It's so strange.
No,
We're
it's-
so hard on
sports are
men when
dumb.
it comes to
Sports are
like
dumb in their face.
feelings.
To quote your boyfriend Blake Griffin, basketball is a game invented for children. Now, basketball, I don't know if you saw this, Steve Nash. Do you remember Steve Nash?
Game MVP like Steve Nash? Yes, I do. Quote a little.
Two-time MVP, Steve Nash. That's the thing people forget about him.
He's married to a black lady, I think.
No,
I think-
not true.
Oh. Really?
She is quite white, I'll have
Okay.
you know.
Quite white.
She is a proud
Quite
white
white.
woman. Steve Nash became the
Owner.
coach of the New
Coach.
Jersey Nets. Now, Layla Frederick, that's not a black girl. That's his wife. Became the coach of the New Jersey Nets, and people were saying, Stephen A. Smith, the other guy, the other,
Mouthy.
yeah, was saying that it was white privilege that he got the job because he's never coached an NBA team. Then
But aren't a lot of coaches former players?
yes, and Charles Barkley pointed out that there have been guys who got jobs without prior experience, players.
But not a lot.
No, but some. But Stephen A. Smith's counter argument was they didn't get jobs on teams that good.
They got like college.
No, just
NBA.
shittier NBA jobs. In some ways, Steve Kerr was never he was a GM before he was coach. Steve Nash kind of admitted to a
He's
bit
like,
of white privilege.
"Probably."
Yeah. But in some cases, it's like, I don't know, man. Yeah, people get jobs for fucking. It's not all like get the fairness, get the level out.
But
It's
I mean, why?
perfect.
Then what's up with? I feel like you feel some sort of way about Stephen A. something.
No.
Saying that or no?
No, I don't.
Smith?
I don't think he's exactly wrong.
Okay.
Barkley actually was more heated. He was like, he shouldn't say shit like this because when you're talking about race, it's too important.
But Barkley seems to not. He seems like he doesn't budge easy in agreeing with things are racist.
Motivated reasoning,
Mm.
which are the voters have, the Trump voters. No, he doesn't. But when it comes to race, he actually said, we never talked about it on the podcast, but a black player called a white player a bitch ass white boy, and in the bubble you can really.
Yeah, you can.
It's
see it.
a Super Bowl of lip reading. It's fucking amazing.
Just white boy.
And Barkley, Shaq and Kenny were saying like, yeah, that dudes say shit like that all the time. And Barkley goes, I've never used race in an insult.
But then that's just from your fucking experience. That doesn't
No.
mean...
But he's saying I'm trying to answer your thing about him sort of being
Okay.
Fine. And like, if I believe him, if he says I've never used race in an insult, I believe him. With the white privilege thing and saying Stephen A. Smith shouldn't play around with that shit. I mean, I think it's the world now. Like, I don't think would Nash have gotten the job? Would a black 2-time MVP have gotten a coaching job on a good team?
Who are there black 2-time MVPs?
Mostly. They're mostly black.
And
2-time MVPs.
Well, the coaches versus the players. I mean, it's a real.
It's a jump, but also not. It is and it isn't.
I mean, most of the coaches are white,
Yes, as it should be.
and most of the players are black.
I mean, you got to keep them in line.
Even the great players, most of them are black. So
Yeah.
there is obviously this,
Right. So what I'm saying is, because there's not a 1-to-1, would Michael Jordan have gotten a job without paying his dues? Yes.
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
Could LeBron? Yes.
So you think he's on the level of LeBron and Michael Jordan, Steve Nash? I'm trying to find someone.
No, I know. Hey, will you look up NBA MVP by year? It'll be on Wikipedia.
This is interesting.
Yeah, it'll be. There's a couple.
Let's deep dive. Let's do it.
There's a couple. All right. So this is from the beginning. All right. So Moses Malone 2-time, Larry Bird 3-time.
Oh, Magic
Larry
Johnson,
Bird
so
became a
many.
coach
Larry Bird.
quickly, but
White.
I believe he was a GM. Magic.
Magic.
I believe coached the Lakers at one point. Barkley ain't taking that kind of pay cut. Hakeem is too serious and he's just too serious. David Robinson, I feel like could get a job.
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan get a coaching job. I believe he could get a head coaching job without
You
paying
go
his
back
dues.
for a second. Yeah, you think Tim Duncan can?
I believe he can because he's got
Oof, Derrick Rose is hot as hell. Oh.
interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that for you.
He's so hot. There's some people who are just
He's
so
got
handsome.
an Asiatic look. There, I said it. He's got an Asiatic
You're
look.
so funny. Has Curry?
He's still playing. So Curry could get a job.
Do you think afterwards he could probably?
Yeah. Curry could get a job because they can go, well, his dad was a player. He's a player. He's got good lineage. They can make a reason. They can come with a reason.
Could have.
Kobe could have. I believe Kobe would have gotten a job. LeBron could have. Durant. I don't think Durant could.
I don't think, or James Harden.
Harden couldn't either because they're not very compelling people. Honestly, Patrick Ewing couldn't get it. Patrick Ewing's an assistant.
He works.
He's been but he's never. He gets passed over for head coaching jobs.
Oh, why?
And because he's not that compelling a guy. Now, having said that, are all coaches compelling? No. Do you need to be compelling to go from player to coach without paying dues? I would argue, yes, you do.
Wait, will you go back to that list, Will? LeBron, do you think he's compelling enough to?
Yeah. And he's also verbose. Like, you have to be.
You have to be like a character.
Evocative and talkative.
You know what's funny, too? You said this thing before when we were talking about in the primaries and stuff, how some people just look presidential and some people don't. And like Bernie's a character, Trump is a character. There was one person that was nothing. I think it was like Tom Steyer.
Yang.
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 The way you said that. Yang.
Yang.
It was
Yang. He just has a bad hairline. That's how we describe it. He just has a bad. His hair doesn't look. His hair looks better short. But that thing where it looks like a comb over, it just doesn't. It's not. You're never going to be president of my country.
So with coaches, you think it
follows me on Twitter, and I'm telling you right now.
Shh, edit this out. So you think for NBA
I don't think it's a look. I think it's
not look, but a character.
Yeah,
thing.
you have to have a level of. You have to be verbose. You have to a leader of men. They used to call it. They probably still do. Whereas there are guys that are black that have it, and there are guys that are black that don't, and there are guys that are white that have it, and there are guys that don't have it. And those are the guys who become announcers.
Yeah.
I have a joke with Blake and Kevin Love. Like, hey, if you guys can't get announcing jobs after your careers.
What about Allen Iverson?
Allen Iverson's not going to be. He's not a head coach.
No, you don't think he could be?
No.
He is verbose. And
he's actually not that verbose. He's quiet. He's like a reluctant speaker. Yeah.
He was so like fiery.
It wasn't language. It was swag. Swagalicious.
So
I mean,
swag.
you want to talk about swag.
So much.
Gun to your head. You got to fuck Derrick Rose or Allen Iverson. All day.
I grew up like Allen Iverson's like
Allen Iverson
all
is
my magazines.
Allen Iverson is. By the way, Chris Rock did an interview with Allen Iverson that is outstanding to the point where they made a documentary around the interview.
How was he when you're watching basketball in live? Was he like
He's fucking great.
Steph Curry or was he
he was like Steph Curry, but he would go to the basket a lot. So it was like he would fight. He'd scrappy. He was a fighter.
Everyone liked him though.
The players like him.
But he was controversial. I don't understand.
He didn't like practice, and he's from what I understand, not the most punctual guy.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, as a coach, you have to be like part your brain has to be, you just have to have an organized mind. And again, don't make this racial because I'm telling you, LeBron has it, Steph has it, Tim Duncan has it.
Now, that's the one that went to China that we saw the documentary, right? Did you go see the documentary?
No, it's Steph Marbury. So
sports.
Nowitzki couldn't coach. He's just not.
He's
Kobe could have coached in a second.
Dirk,
no, couldn't do it. Great player, but just couldn't do it.
Jaman. Okay, so it's just like you need to have this extra.
You have to get the
you gotta be a manager.
Owner. Yeah, you have to be a fucking like
Come on, guys.
a fucking part dork
Yeah.
and like folders and all that shit. Like, now having said that, I've heard of white coaches who they just sit outside practice, smoke cigars.
What?
Yeah. Oh, there's shit about NBA coaches that you hear about them. I mean, a player that's not Blake told me about a coach who at the last second timeout thing, it's their ball, and the coach goes, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm scared. Like, just NBA coaches
Just
that
like-
you're like, there's no fucking way that happened. And that happened.
Are they still coaching?
Yes.
What the
They're
fuck
a
is he
good
gonna do?
coach. They're a good
He's
coach.
just gonna be like, meh.
They just, if you've been doing it, it's one of those, it could be like a tenure thing where you're just not as
Do you think?
hot as you used to be. You're
Can
not
I-
as hot for it as you used to be, not as organized.
Can I ask a controversial question?
Yes.
Do you think two-parter? One, do you think they all bet on their games that they're in?
Players or
Yeah.
coaches? No.
Players and coaches? No.
No.
Do you think there's
I do worry now that gambling has gotten
more acceptable?
like it's part of ESPN now. My worry
You mean like
is-
fantasy?
No, now they do betting lines. They do Vegas betting lines on ESPN. It's all hand in glove now. The thing I worry about is I would bet that there will be a scandal of some kind.
Come out.
These guys all are friends.
Mm.
So if there was betting on comedy
Right.
and I know Burr or Mulaney or Dave or Chris has a sore throat,
Right.
the audience doesn't know it. And while I wouldn't bet on it, I can't keep Will from bet. I can't
Right.
wink at Will and go, I
Insider.
wouldn't put a lot of money on Chris tonight.
Right. Or just know that like,
Yeah.
ooh, he's doing this new material that is bombing.
Yeah, like he told me on the phone, it's not good. That's friends, cousins, moms,
Yeah.
girlfriend. That's to me where the problems are going to be.
Well, there's no SEC and fucking
There's
gambling.
you can't spell SEC without NBA. What's that? There's ain't no. Last time I checked, SEC don't have no NBA.
Do you think that things are rigged? That people would throw games and any of that? Is there some
I don't
rigging?
know. I believe my from the outset in, my worry is, you know, his ankle's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know his ankles. I mean, like, whatever. That, like, again, I don't think, and I don't think Giannis Antetokounmpo is gonna.
Who?
The last
Oh yeah.
guy.
Greek freak.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna bet.
Right.
But if the 10th guy on the bench,
Yeah.
I think his cousin's gonna bet based on information that his player cousin gives him, and I think that's very hard to
Prove
fight.
and fight.
It's
yeah.
very hard to prove, especially with the light phone, if you get an untraceable light phone. But also, it's very human.
Yeah.
You look at it with I think Trump voters all thought Republicans are less corrupt. They won't do. And then you look at the fucking, it's just all corrupt.
Yeah.
It's all, like so corrupt where you're like, that guy's a millionaire. Why would he need to?
Right. Make more.
Because they can't, because they love money. They love money.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's, my worry would be more like,
Interesting.
yeah, that's where I think, and maybe they have a plan for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like maybe they've explained to the guys, like, if you're caught doing this, you're out of the league. Like not one strike, 0 strikes.
Yeah.
It would be 1 strike.
Right,
0
it's
strikes
like,
would be 2. That would be, everyone's out of the league's canceled.
Right now.
Because I don't
Freeze
trust
it.
you guys. So yeah, I'm sure that there was a thing, a guy had someone in his room at the bubble.
Oh,
She
yeah.
didn't interact with anybody else.
She did apparently she was like a mediocre, she was like an iffy 5 that was checking them and like doing the COVID, like
That's
running
funny.
it.
I'd
And it
like
was
the
like,
record to show that I didn't put a number on this woman.
I said iffy
I would
5.
never do that.
Well,
That's
my
not who I
sister
am.
was like, she was not cute.
She's not, again, a
But
man
it
gets,
was like
man
she was
gets
in the bubble.
lonely in a quarantine.
She was in the bubble because
Yeah.
she was helping doing
She
the
was
checking.
doing COVID tests.
COVID
yeah.
test. So Is he out?
Yeah, they bounced him, and the players union was like, "Can we?" And they were like, "No, we can't. We're not negotiating on this because it just sets up."
It's in the bubble.
What do you mean?
Why was it? What's the problem? 2 adults fucking in the bubble.
Because first of all, you do not know if she fucked him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because it's precedent.
Yeah. It's like then everyone's just gonna
Yeah,
fuck
like
all the staff.
we can't negotiate. Like it's a hard and fast rule. You can't fuck
I hope
anyone.
he was really told clearly.
I thought you were gonna say, I hope he fucked her good.
Oh no, I was not gonna say that.
I always think about quality of fucking. But yeah, so he got bounced, and then his team lost, so it's fine. I had a movie idea that you're not gonna like. Ready?
Okay, go. I'm imagining.
I don't have a title.
Okay, just go.
2017.
Okay.
A newscaster
What does she look like?
is in a beautiful, not a 5, an 8.
Ew, 8.
An 8. First thing in the morning, 8.
Okay.
9 with makeup.
Okay.
She gets into a horrible accident that disfigures her face.
Oh.
And she can never be news. She can never cast news again, right?
Okay.
COVID comes around.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's wearing masks.
So it happened in a part of her face.
It happened basically the whole bottom of her face is fucked up. Chemical, I don't want to look at it.
Right.
COVID comes.
Yuck.
Everyone's wearing masks.
Uh-huh.
Guess who's making a comeback?
Eye-wise, maybe.
She's wearing a mask. She's making a comeback. Right. Have you seen a mask?
Yeah, but like a comeback here. What is she doing?
She's doing live news. The problem with Bianca's taste in movies is your comprehension's no good.
No, the
She's
problem
wearing a
is
mask.
You.
She's wearing a mask.
Relax. I'm asking questions.
I
Preliminary
will
questions.
not relax.
You
this
need
is too
to.
important.
I need to just
This
ask
is
questions.
too important.
The problem is you have a sensitivity when I'm asking something. You think it as an attack.
Yes.
I'm just trying to understand.
Most conversations are an attack on me.
Okay. So she makes a comeback in life
In
or
mask. She goes back. She gets to go back and be a newscaster again
like your
because
tone.
she's wearing a mask
I don't
the
like your
whole
tone.
time. Because you've asked 2 bad follow-ups.
No. Just roll with it. Okay, so she's doing newscasting.
She does a job interview. They say, take your mask off. She goes, I'd rather not because of COVID. And they're like, all right, we will hire you on a temporary basis. And she's a fucking newscaster. She's wearing a mask the whole time. It's people fall in love with her as the masked newswoman.
Terrible.
How come?
What kind of, in terms of narrative?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's literally like a kiddie coaster. And then COVID, and then yay! I
No.
mean, like, what the fuck is the? Where's the point?
What's the difference between this and Cyrano?
the like old school?
Yes,
like
or
play?
Roxanne, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I don't know. I don't remember that.
Well, of course you don't.
Yeah.
Guy meets a
Cassandra.
girl. He wants to.
There's no love in this.
America falls in love with her, and there's a love interest who saw her.
This
on
is
the
this is like a bad version of Baby Boom. No, you gotta. This is not a. It doesn't go far enough.
I'm not actually gonna write this. That's
I
the
know.
good
We're
news.
just talking about it.
This is again. You never apologize for Granny's house, and many of your
It's
friends
bad.
said they wanted to watch
Many
Granny's house.
won.
You told me many.
I never said many. It was one.
So this
Kill
is
you.
an underdog story. It's a woman who literally was banished from news, and because of her face, what's that woman who was on the ugly lady who was a singer, like 10 years ago? She was on one of the contests. British woman.
Oh yeah.
It's that. Yeah. What did you Google?
Susan Boyle.
Yes, it's Susan Boyle. This woman does the news, and America falls back in love with her because she's wearing a mask, and she gets to do this thing she loved, finds love, is like, look, it's because of COVID, otherwise I'd take my mask off. Never takes her mask off, and eventually in the third act, something happens where a bird comes, takes her mask off on the air, and then America's like, you know what? I don't mind. she must have gotten some kind of glycolic peel because I don't mind this.
They would mind.
scarring. Of course they would mind, but it's a movie. And the guy falls in love. He's like, I know you as a person, so I'm gonna fall in love. It's basically Cyrano for the news with a mask. See you at the theaters, guys. And by theaters, I mean video on demand, because theaters are never coming back.
That's some good narrative. I love it.
Oh, I had a useless observation.
Neal's got a little something for you. Another useless observation.
Pretty much, when people go, I got a death threat, so-and-so threatened to kill me.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything's a death threat. An open window is a death threat. You could potentially fall out of it. A set of steps is a death threat. Being awake, you're under constant threat of death. So it's all a death threat. So
Remember we talked about this before? Because we were talking about something, and you were like, well, she got a death threat. I'm like, death threat is the new
you
dick
have
pic.
a great one. The death threat is the dick pic of the modern for celebrities. It's the dick pic. It's the Twitter. It's the dick pic. Social media dick pic.
Yeah,
is a
it's
death threat.
No, who's really like doxing you and coming to your house?
I mean,
everyone's so lazy though.
yes.
Everyone is
Yes.
so lazy. They could find us if they really want. I don't know why.
Come
Take something.
find. I would love to have you. I'm looking for a co-host who likes my ideas.
Oh
if
God,
anyone's-
sensitive.
It's all. You're right about that, but some
you
are
think people
credible.
You think, but credible death threats fine. If I text you like, I'm gonna come to your house and kill you, Neal, that's a credible like that. What do you mean credible?
I know. I will not say who. Someone
Okay.
who has a TV show. Talked about Saudi Arabia. Having to get some powder in the mail,
Wow.
and he's with his wife.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's so fucking scary.
So I don't know. So is it? It just takes one person.
That's the thing.
Just takes one. Even Kennedy said you can't stop a lone person. He
Yeah.
said it in the car in Dallas.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I was like, what?
No one's that great. Look, the guy was great, but he wasn't a prophet.
No, but if you think about it, all of these assassins that kill, let's say, celebrities, they're weird, loners,
Yeah.
strange.
Yes.
It's just that
Yes.
one.
Even someone breaking into your house, like Eminem and Letterman. They've been like people over the years. I think Katy Perry had a stalker. It's just Taylor Swift. It has an effect on your nervous system. But sleep tight, celebrities, because everything is a death threat.
Neal's got a little something for you. Another useless observation.
Doc Watch, very quickly.
Doc Watch.
A woman told me about a show on Netflix called Formula One, which is a docuseries about Formula One racing, which is not I don't really like any car racing. It's the best one. It's very, how you say, European, very continental. And I think you would think all the drivers are hot. Like Lewis Hamilton, is good looking.
He's a little cheesy. But he's
Yes, I agree. He's from like the Shamar Moore school
know.
of like handsome black men.
cool. Right.
But there's a guy in look up the driver for Renault, the Renault driver, F1 Renault. That might be it, Daniel Ricciardo.
Is there a hot one?
Yeah, he's hot. He's right up your alley.
Oh, go to that more face one. Okay. He's cute. He looks a little. I don't love guys that have this kind of mousy thing. They remind me of. There's a
Five-O?
Little
An American
Fifo.
Tail? Yeah.
Did you ever watch Thomas the Train when like Carl what's his face was on?
Not as much as I should have.
I know, duh. But there was a part of it where they'd go in the piano and there was these puppets that live in the
Yeah.
piano and they people with kind of prominent noses, like just how he looks. I don't know, big eyes, prominent nose, mousy.
Yeah.
They look like these puppets and I
Smiling, he's cute.
Yeah, smiling. Go to the smiling one. Just a little more femmy.
I think he's like a
I kind of
8.
like them to be really
7?
manly. I like my guys
Oh,
smoldering.
fucking
smoldering.
Like they're knocking furniture over.
Like I need a deep voice and a
You
little
came
bit
to
of
the
a temper.
Came to the right place. Say no more. I'm right there. Formula One is my point. It's
No,
very
it's
good,
fine.
and
Don't-
I'm
you're
on
never gonna find it.
season
You're
1 of Formula One. I'm on episode 4. It's killer. It's fucking
that's
great
good.
for a woman recommended it, and I would say it's because you don't think a woman's going to recommend a driving show. First of all, because they can't. They're
Always
not good
in
drivers.
1955.
They're not good drivers.
Shut up.
It's like a 24/7, but less. It's driving. The reason there are car movies that work, as I've explained, is drive there. And if you don't speak English, you know what that means. And so Formula One, they all do speak English, but it's just very literal. Like he is in front of him. He's trying to get past him. He cuts him off.
That's so funny. There's no charm to it.
The cars are fucking
No,
great
the
looking.
announcing.
No, actually the announcers are fantastic. I'm just saying if you don't speak English, you can understand. Like that red car
Right,
is
it's
in front
simple.
of your yellow car, but the drivers are 8s and a Neal 8. But maybe I like an international man more than
Do you like NASCAR? No.
No.
Like why is it so trashy seeming?
Because relative to Formula One, it is trashy cars.
Oh, the cars.
The cars are trashier than the Formula. The Formula One look like art.
Oh wow.
Like those are the ones. Those are like the sculpted. You know, like they're legit. And I don't even give a shit about cars.
Right, but they're beautiful.
Yeah, like they're.
Oh, that's
like
what they look
those
like?
are really good looking. Yeah, like the
Those are scary
the
as
Formula
hell.
One. They go 200 and something. So and they have really good. Did you watch the Senna documentary?
I think I did. Wait, what was it about?
He was a Formula One guy. He was a Formula One guy.
I started. I did.
Yeah. Well, this might not be for you then. But they're great looking, whereas NASCAR ones are fucking Ricky Bobby.
Right.
And they're all Southern dudes. So there's all these guys that are like international. They
Sophisticated,
could
like-
be trashy European. I'll never know because I don't know a good European from a bad one. Whereas Americans, I can tell you, I will score them based on their class, but never their race because it's not now.
No.
Now's not the year, Neal. Lenox Hill. Did you check Lenox Hill out? It is a hospital documentary show. And I love a hospital documentary show.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Bring that up. I love a hospital documentary show.
It's great.
Did you ever watch ER? Trauma Life in the ER?
It's not like there's no voiceover.
Okay.
There's no like we caught up with Michael who's getting a foot removed.
It's just like life.
It's just like it's that doesn't tell you anything.
No, but that's fine.
It's just a
Ooh.
there used to be one called Johns Hopkins. That was about Johns Hopkins that Ben Carson used to be on, which I liked Ben
I
Carson.
think I seen
It was
that.
15 years ago probably, but
Right.
but that's how deep I've been in these shows. It's a great show. Watch it. Class Action Park. Did you watch Class Action Park?
No, I was with my family for
Yeah, in your defense. Class Action Park, HBO documentary about a water park in New Jersey.
Oh, the most
that
dangerous
looked
one.
so fun.
So fun.
Like, I laughed watching half of the rides. They're so dangerous, and they're run by high school kids.
I read an article
Yeah.
on this in like Vice like a few months
Yeah.
back, and it's just people detailing of their experience going to the park.
Yeah.
Broken bones.
Broken bones. Some
everywhere.
people literally died. There was a boat thing. A guy got stuck. I mean,
Yeah,
people
yeah. It was-
boat ramming. It's just look. They had a
Yeah,
loop.
that.
They had
They
a
did a
fucking
loop.
360 loop, which they sent down like dummies down. I mean, it's so fucking great. Just great.
It honestly, when I read that article, it made me jealous.
Yes,
like, I
because
wish
I
I
don't
had-
think I would have died. I think
Right.
I would have had a great
I would've
time.
been, and then I'd be able to be like, we used to go there all the time.
You know, I used to go there. I love a water park, and I don't.
You like water parks?
Doesn't
Shut
isn't
the
that a
fuck
fucking
up. Are
plot
you
twist
serious?
of the century?
I love water parks.
Bianca,
You know what we got to do?
go to a water park. I'm guessing. I'm
Wait,
guessing you're
we-
gonna say go to a water park.
Yeah, but I'm gonna up
Caveat
the
it.
ante. We got to go to that fucking water park in Wuhan, where they had the concert nighttime.
Let's give it a second.
Okay.
Actually, I mean, now would be
That
the
looked
time.
fun. Nighttime inner tubes concert wave pool.
Here's the
Sign
thing, though.
me
Next
up.
time I go to a water park, it's gonna be after hours, and I'm
Whoa.
gonna rent it. I'm gonna just rent it out for me and you,
Oh,
and
well,
May Will
can we have-
if you want to come. Although I'm not dying to see you in a
Can
bathing
Blake
suit.
come?
Blake, of course, Blake will come.
Oh my god, okay.
Of course, Blake will come. Nothing would be.
Can Chris Rock go?
He'd be happy to injure himself.
Would Chris Rock go?
Just watch Grown Ups 2. They did a water park scene.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
So no.
If you want to see Chris in a water park,
I kind of do.
my guess is he's not gonna be there. Blake has a better chance of coming.
You and Chris are the type of guys where you want to see them doing jovial things because
Yeah.
you don't seem very
It doesn't seem. There you
light.
go. There's Chris having.
Oh, he's
See?
having a great,
It's a great
time.
time.
They must have had so much fun filming that.
Look at how much fun Spade was having.
He's pointing.
Schneider's biting his nails. Kevin James having a great time.
They must have had fun filming that. No?
They
Was-
did. I think it was in like they shot kind of in like Massachusetts or something. So it wasn't. I think it was, okay.
Oh.
I think it's okay.
Okay.
I mean, you don't want to have to see it.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to see your friends. You don't want to go to. It's like why don't you do Dave shows? Because I don't want to fucking fly to Ohio to do 10 minutes.
Right.
It's a bit like that. Like go somewhere for
Oh yeah.
2
I
months.
think I remember this.
Yeah.
Wait. Will you actually rent out a water park at some point?
Maybe. Are there any around here?
Well, there's Raging Waters.
Where's that?
That's like near Fontana. That's
Where's
an hour
that?
away. That's an hour away.
Okay.
East.
Okay.
There's
153. Take the 153.
No, it's
Straight down.
152.
Raging Water. We've had Raging Waters look how fun.
Raging
Betters
Waters.
Water Park in L.A. is Raging Waters Los Angeles.
2021.
They are closed. They are having a private session until next summer.
So, but there's some of these golf. There's some combo golf land mini golf, water slide situations.
If you're asking me, do I like mini golf? I sure do.
You like mini golf too?
I caddied growing up.
Wow, but mini golf is different.
It's the end of it's golf.
It's the end. It's the
yeah,
last
it's putting.
Putting. Well,
Okay. Yusuf Hawkins' Storm Over Brooklyn it's on HBO about a guy who was murdered by a group of Italians. Did you watch it?
no, but I've heard of.
Yeah, it's like it was a really famous story in New York.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
famous.
late 80s. But it's good. It's just a fucking it's crazy how openly racist Italians in New York used to be.
Italians.
Italians.
I think all of them are. New York is the East Coast is very openly racist.
Yeah, in New York it's a little more
Philly, I feel like
Philly's
Philly,
awful.
white Philippines are scary.
I don't disagree, sweetie.
But the funny part is that they will hit on a black girl and a Latin girl in a fucking millisecond.
Yeah, but because you're not. I mean, you're on break.
What?
It's the same reason they boo football players except when they're running around. Just don't stop running around. The mistake football players make is they weren't footballing for a second.
For one millisecond.
Football doesn't do football at the wrong time. That's very good. Love Fraud on Showtime. Little iffy so far. It's one episode. I don't trust the filmmaking.
What's it about?
It's about a guy who just married like 20 women and milked them.
Isn't it? Oh, I wanted to see that. You know what's funny though? Isn't it funny when you watch a documentary and you're just like, I don't trust the storyteller.
Yes.
The editor, I don't know what it is. There's something
It's production.
shoddy.
It's like, well, how do you get that shot?
Yeah.
It's shit like that where you're like,
why is this a reenactment?
Yeah, is this
Why
happening
don't
in
we-
real time, or you
Is
guys
this
just
a
happen to be
video?
shooting? Yeah,
Or is this?
it's problematic. Have you watched The Vow?
Listen, I finished the first. It's like hard to get into.
Yeah, it's a little.
Did you notice that? It's like
Yes, because it's confusing in that there's the cult, and then there's other
other people and then
parts of the, and then there's like a
famous, and then
cultier
there's-
cult, and then there's
it's
like
you're coming to Michael's
yeah,
house.
and then there's a slave master thing. I will say I've enjoyed it, and
You
the
liked
thing I did like that I'm going to start instituting is if if you tell someone a secret, you make them give you collateral so that they can't repeat it.
The problem with that is someone has to really want to know your secret.
Right, that's the problem.
You can't be like, hey, you want to know something? Tell me something first. Okay.
I'm going to go. You want to know what I have for dinner? Send nudes.
Ew.
And I'll fucking tell you.
Nobody wants that.
Otherwise, you don't get to know what I had for dinner. And the truth is, you know what I had for dinner every night was Impossible Burger.
Yeah.
Chopped up with
veggie,
vegetables.
whatever bag.
Over a thing.
I watched a movie that wasn't a documentary.
What?
It's really good.
You bitch.
I know. I'm sorry. I cheated. It's called A Brighter Summer Day.
Brighter Summer Day?
A Brighter Summer Day. Have you ever watched Yi Yi? It's a Chinese director, Edward Yang. Yi Yi? So fucking good. Well, you don't watch movies anymore. But A Brighter Summer Day is another movie he did. It's very good. It's 4 hours long. So I did it in parts, but it's just good. If you like Chinese cinema.
Ask me if I'm going to watch Yi Yi.
No, you're not. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Are you going to watch Yi Yi?
Yang.
Stupid.
Let's do some emails.
LSTNER. LSTNER.
You've got mail.
Oh, that's nice.
The people made us some songs.
Yeah, what do we have? Let's listen to some songs. Oh, yeah, this is funny.
Oh, and Neal is a wigger.
Black man here. No, black man here.
Oh, black man here. Can you play that one again? Sorry. Oh, and Neal is a wigger.
Black man here. Beautiful.
So funny.
And another song? I believe it's called Neal is a...
Stanford Prison, Tuskegee, Marshmallow, asking for my G. They did a study.
That's called They Did a Study. Pretty great.
I wonder if she could tell him hard right now. I can feel a bump coming through. I can feel a bump coming through. Please delete that one. No, I don't ever want to hear that again.
Cut it out, Will.
No, you can leave it.
You can leave it. Great. Well, the middle, They Did a Study was by our friend, right? Yeah, Eric Johnson. The great Eric Johnson. One of the great
Listen,
composers
just bank
of our
him.
day.
We'll use him.
He actually sent a singles Dropbox, which we could release all of his singles. He has 7 singles.
Wow. EP,
So,
dude.
yeah,
He's got
so
an
it's
EP.
pretty great. Play the Millennials audio question, please.
Hey, Neal and Binks, LSTNER.
Oh, that's
I'm wondering
nice.
both your takes on millennials in general. A few weeks ago, you talked about millennial privilege, and it got me thinking about it. General consensus is that millennials are born between 1981 and 1996, meaning while Bianca may be an old Caribbean woman on the inside, she's a dirty millennial on the outside. I'm noticing more and more people are lazily referring to young people as millennials when they're in fact Gen Zs. In 2019, your best friend Ellen brought on a 17-year-old to work old things like a rotary phone and a phone book. When the girls struggled and failed, Ellen said, quote, "That was better than I could have ever hoped for. Well, because you're a millennial, win or lose, you're going to get a prize." I'm born in 1994, the border between millennials and Gen Zs. And millennials my age dealt with phone books, landlines, and our grandparents' rotary phones. I understand my generation has its faults, but I think millennials are getting shit on a little more than they deserve. We're not the ones partying on spring break. We're the ones cooped up inside figuring out ways to pay off student debt our parents didn't have to deal with. And the participation trophy line is bullshit. We didn't invent those. Boomers and old Gen X's force-fed those to their children because they were too lazy to teach their kids the value of failure. That's the gist of my rant. I just want to know what the soy boys census and what Dems determine when it comes to millennials.
Sorry, boy.
Motherfucker.
Sorry,
You're
boy.
right about I think the participation trophy thing has more to do with not teaching their kids failure. It just, they didn't want to have kids that were failures in any way. If you're getting into the psychology of it.
Right.
Also, if I don't think I ever made this point on stage, or on here, but if you're Gen Z or millennial and someone says participation trophies, you should say, yeah, I'm going to get our participation trophy for most shootings at a school.
Right.
Like, the shit's gotten way worse in a lot of ways, and economic inequality and pandemics and debt and all the shit that you guys should use more in arguments.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It had nothing to do with
That are in no way your
generation.
fault. That you born into a society where they accept school shootings.
Yeah.
And they run rampant in your lifetime. So yeah, my problem with Gen Z is just the entitlement thing and the like everything's gonna be fair. It's like no,
Gen Z.
everything's not gonna be fair.
I know.
Work
Z's
stuff especially. It's like no, you're not here for fairness.
Also, a lot of maybe this is not a real thing. Might be some pseudoscience, but a lot of Gen Z kids say. The nice thing is, I feel like they don't see as much of a difference in race. Like they're way more accepting that. But a lot of them say nigga.
Interesting.
A lot, where it's confusing.
I mean, again, that's empirical. It's not like they didn't do a study.
No, I'm just saying, like pseudoscience wise, it seems, just kind of like, dude. Just seems like the way.
I mean, that's how I used it. Honestly, like as much
you
as
use it.
The N word.
Like as a term of like, what's up?
No, but I'm saying when I did use it in the past, it was always like dudes were N-words and girls were bitches.
No. I mean how people say, dude, what's up? Or like, dude, what are you doing?
Oh,
like,
right. I mean,
people use it so frequently that
it's
not
impossible to know like if that's a rampant thing or just on like the 2 skating videos you saw. You know what I mean?
Right. It's honestly when I have gone to the beach, when I watch videos, younger cousins of mine who aren't black, who are Persian, I'm like, maybe I'm more sensitive to it and it's not that big of a deal, or what's going on? And I don't know. I just wonder about Gen Z.
That's one of those things that they'll figure that out.
They'll sort it. Let them. Don't worry about
take care of itself. Let's not get too deep in the woods on that one.
All right, fine.
They'll figure out the N-word stuff. That's all we had for that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
2 others, but
Yeah, they were not good. Yeah, so Gen Z, stop being so thinking that there's going to be any justice at work and in the world too, and stop scolding people. But whatever.
Goodbye.
If you do scold people, make sure you call them the N-word.
You've got mail.
This is a great letter, and it deserves all the attention we can give it. RSTNLE.
Oh, that's nice.
Please record additional ad reads. If I have to hear that identical anchor pitch one more goddamn time, I may literally die. Cheers, Mox. He's right, and I've been meaning to. We're gonna record 2 new ones after today.
We're gonna make them fun.
Anchor and Spotify.
Goodbye. You've got mail.
Hi, Neil and Bianca. LCNER.
Oh, that's nice.
This is a Start Up Them Friars. We got a long-ass letter on our hands.
Okay.
Start Up and here's the situation. One of my best friends and his girlfriend, who I also consider a friend, had a small gathering of like 6 folks at their apartment. He goes into COVID, which is not related. The girlfriend had 2 of her friends over during it. One of her friends, call her Girl A, whom I met for the first time that night, wanted to jump my bones so bad that after I left, I got a call from my friend telling me to come back because she wanted to fuck me. I was already 20 minutes away, had a drunk pastor in the car whom I promised to designate to drive home, so I told my friend on the phone to just give Girl A my number. The very next day, Girl A and I went on a date, and we had sex. It was great. She was a cool person, and I was excited for a second date. Now, 2 days later, went and grabbed drinks with some other friends, one of which was a girl, call her Girl B, whom I thought was into me. When I had first met her almost a year prior, I never shot my shot with her due to general awkwardness, and eventually the flirting stopped, so I figured I missed my chance. We stayed friends in a group context, rarely texting one-on-one and only talking via group chat or when meeting up with a group. Never really thought anything of flirting. Anyway, after drinks with friends, she privately revealed to me that she always was crazy about me, and that led to us sleeping together that night. I did not at all expect for her to tell me this, and I didn't go to grab drinks with the hope of it happening. Felt very conflicted, but ultimately I had only known Girl A for 4 days, and I already had a great relationship with Girl B. I didn't want to hurt anybody, but the truth was someone was going to get hurt. Here's where I think my biggest sin came. I canceled my date with girl A, which because of the timing of it all was the day of our second date. I gave a bullshit, not feeling good excuse. Then a day after that, I gave her a wishy-washy, I'm looking for something else kind of text. My thinking was telling her that there's another girl would hurt her feelings more. Upon further reflection, that was all just cowardice, and I should have been straight up as soon as possible. Felt terrible. A lot of emotions. Boy, this fucking guy goes on and on. Whoa. Anyway, here's the question. Am I an absolute piece of shit for deciding to go with another girl like that? Or am I right to think my only real sin was lying? If I sleep with someone, do I owe them the chance at a relationship no matter what happens in the next few days? And given the answer to that, how should I proceed? I feel like I properly explained and apologize for my friend's girlfriend all I can. Do I take it on the chin and let her be mad at me? Or do I be more defensive of my actions and her accusations of my character? How Now Fall and what book books? Great.
That was hella long.
It was hella long. It was a lot. And I cut some pages out. So
What?
you're welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, he needs our help.
This guy is cruising for a bruising. I'm more interested in your point of view because I think my point of view is probably pretty obvious. But I think yours might surprise some people.
What? Stop. Okay. No, I think if it's the beginning, do whatever the fuck you feel like. Do what feels good. Go down the path that feels good. Don't do the noble thing or some shit. You don't owe girl A anything. She wanted to fuck you.
Yeah.
If you want, I don't fuck people that quick because
for situations like this.
And if I think I can have like fine sex and not be like, so what are we? Very easily, but I think if you want to position yourself to not go bonkers, don't fuck a bunch of people immediately. Me,
yes,
not everybody. It just doesn't. I just want to know you a little bit more, and then I can go from there. So I don't fuck people that quick for this reason, feeling rejected, and no one's trying to reject you. It's just real life. So yeah, sometimes it's timing. It's not about you or like her pussy stank. It's just timing. And I skim that the girl got like the friend's got mad.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Real life, it's just life. At the beginning, people are just trying to protect themselves and do it feels good. So I don't think he owes anybody.
I also think you do have to take it on the chin. Like that girl's just gonna be mad at you. And
yeah, it's gonna be awkward
and like, but this might be a LA, New York small market thing. Like this doesn't sound like he's in LA or New York because I feel like people in LA or New York.
Wow, that was like one guy.
No, I know. Like it. Whenever I see a good-looking woman on the road at like a gas station with a guy, I want to like grill the guy. Like, wow, how'd you do that?
Right.
And so I think she expected I'm gonna have sex with this guy, and then we'll see what happens like going forward. It wasn't like, I don't know.
In LA, this girl just wanted to fuck you and go away. It's like a hookup.
Yes, it's not even she'd be crazy.
To be like, now I wonder what would happen.
So what are we?
That's actually what I thought. I'm like, what kind of weirdo is this? But you're right. That's good context.
Yeah. So it is more valued. Vagina is more valued in small markets.
Valued vagina.
But I don't think he's wrong. I think it's like, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
But I also kind of agree that you didn't have to tell her that you could just say, I don't feel well or whatever.
You don't owe anybody anything.
Yes. It took me a long time to realize that you can sleep with a woman and she doesn't have to be your girlfriend.
Yikes.
I know. Tell me about it.
It's a lot of fucking energy wasted.
You think? Bianca, it's my biggest regret.
Who thinks that?
Being respectful to women is my biggest regret. No, I just didn't.
No. What woman is like?
It just seemed it wasn't even them really.
It just
I
was
could have
this
just
concept.
played it differently. Yeah, I could have just I could have been less. I assumed she was my girlfriend. It wasn't even her most of the time. So the problem is if you sleep with them more than once or twice, then it's like, well, okay, this is a pattern.
Yeah, it's like, are we?
What am I? Yeah.
Are we to? I don't know if we're exclusive. I don't really want to be, but well.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Plus, I always get them pregnant.
You've got mail.
LSTNER. Neal.
Oh, that's nice.
The Champs remains my favorite podcast of all time. A few times a year, I still reminisce and laugh about Felipe Esparza's story about smoking crack with a blind guy in the wheelchair. Felipe Esparza's episodes are pretty great. Little background about myself. I'm a white male millennial living, you piece of shit.
You
fucking
motherfucker.
Participation trophy. Anyway, when it's too hot or too cold and I don't feel like walking to or from the office, I take the bus because I'm a man of the people. Also because taking Ubers all the time adds up. For some reason, there are often numerous postal workers riding this bus route at 5 p.m. I don't know why. Here's why. They don't have cars.
They don't make money.
I mean, whether they...
Oh, you mean on the job?
No, they have vans that they...
Oh,
but
yeah.
they don't drive the van home. You don't see, like, people getting dropped off at school in the mail.
Also, it's Philadelphia. People are riding the bus.
Yeah. Last summer, well before COVID hit, I was riding said bus home after work when a middle-aged white woman said to a black postal worker on the bus, "Thank you for your service." At the time, I chalked it up as maybe this woman's trying to publicly declare herself an aspiring ally. But in light of the recent politicization, not going to get there, of the Postal Service.
Politicization.
Could she have been a time traveler from the future? Why else would you publicly thank a postal worker for their service on a crowded bus? What do Neal Feel and what do punks thunks? P.S. Bianca is ugly. Now you have my email.
Okay.
I've been finding myself very protective of postal workers and FedEx workers in COVID. I'm like, you good, dog?
Yeah.
You need a... I don't know
someone's
what to
ass.
offer them, but I'm like, I cherish you.
You're going after the Postal Service.
Who?
This fucking administration.
No, but I'm saying...
I'm just like, why is that not a breaking point for people? It's
because
weird.
it loses money. I mean, it's because technically it's not a good business, but if you see it, the problem is seeing it as a business.
Yeah, it's not. It's a service that we can just fucking
It's
pay
a
for.
service that really helps.
Does the military make us
country.
tons of money? No, we spend tons of money on the military.
Oil.
Well,
No,
yeah.
but of course.
But you know,
No,
not
yeah,
everything
exactly.
is
It's
like
not
run like a
exactly.
business,
Yes.
and we still spend
Yes,
the
agreed.
money to like pay for all these motherfuckers' families. So I'm like, it's not that. It's just weird. It's weird. I don't fucking understand it. I feel really bad that just a fucking out of it person can affect an entire.
You're talking about the Trump?
It's weird that like now we're like protect the Postal Service. I
Yeah.
never thought about the Postal Service in my life.
Well, we all learned a ton about government.
Yeah.
During Trump's time. We're like, what? Emoluments? I'd never fucking heard of emoluments.
It's funny when you start learning about shit you thought you should have known, but as an adult, it's like, fuck, I don't know what's going on. What's going on?
Well, go ahead and Google emoluments.
Goodbye. You've got mail.
Here we're getting it. We're getting into Fat City now. Hello, Neal.
Fat City.
Longtime fan of your stand-up, recreational
nice.
user of the podcast on fat shaming. Please just stop. I'm a 34-year-old woman, and I've been a plus-size human since I was 4, which growing up in the 80s and 90s was oh so much fun. And in case you're asking yourself, plus-size since 4, yes, I started gaining excess weight at a very early age. It's part genetic, but is honestly mostly now influenced by, quote, lifestyle choices or whatever condescending term is in vogue. Suffice to say, my weight has been an issue my entire life, and it's greatly impacted my self-esteem and relationships. It's something that I think about when meeting new people, going out to dinner, walking around anywhere. To the point, you've said some pretty shitty things in the last 3 or 4 shows. Don't you mean 30 or 40? From being worried someone you date, which has had weight issues, would yo-yo and then become fat again, to repeatedly saying people that criticize your appearance are fat. I do.
That's
Look,
so
when you
weird.
hear it back,
Yeah,
it sounds
it
bad, but I
sounds
stand
bad.
by every fucking word I've ever said on here. Why is your response to someone criticizing your appearance to turn around and do the same? Because they're insulting me from their frame, and I'm healthy. They're not.
Not all of them are fat.
I promise you, they're all fat.
I keep going.
Also, I am someone that has treatment-resistant depression and anxiety, and a lot of my weight gain and loss goes up and down depending on how well I am functioning that month. someone that has been very open about their depression, can you honestly say that your mental illness has never caused you to lose or gain weight unexpectedly or make you feel overall craptastic about your physical appearance? Binky, please jump in and hopefully explain to Neal why he should stop with the fat comments. This has been an internet rando. It's Jamie.
You know, let's just be real. It's not kind to call someone fat or say disparaging comments about someone's weight, you know?
This is my defense. How about drug
page
addiction?
Out the old
How about
Rose
drug
Watch
addiction?
kindness. What?
How about drug addiction?
Where are you going?
Is it kind to say you're a drug addict?
What?
Is it kind to say that someone's a drug addict?
I don't think it's kind or not kind.
But why is fat kind or not kind?
Because I think drug addiction is something that, you know, someone's actually battling, go through. It's a different category on its own, whereas some people are just overweight and some people are fat. I think also you need to define what you call fat, because when you say like fat people are probably suffering from untreated mental illness, like, are you talking about rotund people? Or are you talking about
I'm not talking about
like
huskies.
morbidly obese? Like that's I think we need to figure
weight,
out what's
and
happening.
to answer a question about depression, it hasn't caused any weight or
But
weight
that could
fluctuations.
just be your metabolism.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it just hasn't. The thing that affects my weight is diet and exercise. That's not true for everybody, but it's true for almost everybody.
What to you is fat? When you say fat, or he's
It's
fat,
one of the
like,
it's the porn. It's the Supreme Court in porn. I know it when I see it.
okay, so do you?
If
mean,
you're
don't go BMI.
chubby,
Yeah.
BMI is impossible. I can't tell it on the eyeball test.
Right.
If you're chubby, I don't care. If you're chubby and you say look like I have AIDS, you're fat.
Okay, whatever. I think that's even Stevens. If people are throwing shade,
Yes.
fine.
And I'm not attracted to overweight people. So if I'm
Overweight,
afraid that
chubby,
overweight, whatever. So if I'm afraid someone's going to yo-yo and be fat, it goes to another precept of the HowNealFeel Constitution, which is you got to honor the agreement. And the agreement was, I love you in this body or something around this body.
I just think the problem is you seem to talk about overweight people more frequently
Dan?
skinny people. We talk about people's weight. Like, she was fat. I was attracted because she's fat. I'm gonna DM her even though I don't respond on my DMs
don't
to tell her
respect
she's fat.
people that have a ton of debt.
Right.
You've heard my rules. To me, overweight people cannot balance their checkbook and make very little effort to do so.
Off.
It's like you see with COVID, it's a major health risk. Major fucking health risk. And part of the reason it took off in America is because of the amount of overweight people. It's not helpful.
It's funny. I was talking to one of my friend's moms
And I'm addicted. It's like, that's why I say it's drug addiction. It's like, dude, this shit is fucking really bad for your health, and it makes everyone's insurance premiums more expensive, and it's because you're not responsible. And there's one thing I eschew is not responsibility, lack of responsibility.
I was talking to my friend's mom, who they're weird. I think they're Trump supporters, but I don't fucking want to get into it. And they were like,
they're fat. I'm kidding.
They're not. They're
No,
European.
Anyone I don't like, I go, well, they're fat.
She was telling me about Corona, and I was like, oh, I had it, blah, blah. And she was like, what this country needs is to stop talking about masks and start promoting vitamins. And I was like, this is a really unhealthy country. Yeah. It's been unhealthy for so long that promoting vitamins is going to go down just like Michelle Obama's
she wasn't
healthy lunch.
Hey, eat a fucking carrot, you bitch. You terrorist bitch.
And it's true. It's like, dude, this is a symptom of a giant problem. So, but okay, I think we can agree though, moving forward, because we're very careful with our mental health feelers. And I think maybe moving forward, we don't say harsh fatty stuff. Maybe we say
in
overweight.
terms of harsh fatty stuff, I haven't said fat in a long time. I very rarely say fat. I said it earlier because I knew these letters were coming.
I think you said it.
I try not to, okay. Bianca, honey. You know my heart.
It's pure gold.
The
Horcha gold.
So
Horcha gold.
I don't. It's a problem.
Yeah, but there's a large portion of the population.
You know what Chappelle would call me to make me insane sometimes? Fat boy.
But then why does it make you insane? You're clearly not fat.
No, of course not.
Why would it make you insane?
Because he was skinnier than me.
Why do you care?
How the tables have turned.
Why do you care?
Oh, how the tape.
Wait, why do you care?
Because it was disrespectful.
Okay, so you're
it was
skinny
calling
obsessed.
Me something that I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
I
You're not
take
good at
pride
that,
in the fact that I'm in good shape. It's a pain in the ass. I don't like doing it. I do it because I want to be healthy.
Okay, so just for the record, you're not a huge fan of overweight fat people.
No, because I think it's just irresponsible, and it literally weighs down everybody.
Is that like a pun? Or?
Of course it's a pun. You see it.
But isn't there something a bit like you're really writing off a bunch of people because of how I get lack of diet and exercise, but also how their body metabolizes fat.
The amount of people who have a real glandular issue is
Not
really
glandular,
small.
but just how the older you
I get that
it's
some
harder
people
to
are what we used to call heavy set.
big bone.
Yeah, I get that.
But don't you think it's like kind of writing off a large? Most people are overweight in this country.
If I smoke cigarettes and people go, "You smell like smoke," I'm not gonna be like, "Huh? What? How dare dear podcast?" When you say smokers smell like smoke, that's to me the same thing. It's you do a thing, there is a response. I'm going to.
So it's not that you don't like them; it just irritates you that they live an unhealthy lifestyle.
Yes.
So say you like them.
Of course I like them. I mentioned someone who used to call me fat boy who's now, the tables have turned. I'm still a big fan. Very big fan. I like many of the fats.
Goodbye.
Wow.
Okay. Hi, Neal. Oh, wait.
You've got mail.
Hi, Neal. Long-time listener, first-time Neal apology demander.
Oh, that's nice.
Neal's virtue signaling with the Adele photo in your most recent episode really rubbed me the wrong way, and I felt like I had to say something. Again, Bianca pointed out we're the only podcast that reads our hate mail because it is mostly hate mail.
It's mostly
not because I'm a huge fan of Adele. I think she's the Bud Light seltzer to Amy Winehouse's White Claw. Rest in peace. And today's her birthday. But mainly because this virtue signaling has got to stop being a real thing and progress is going to be made. I love when people have these as if he knows.
He knows. This is how you make progress.
I know how we're going to make progress.
Leave Adele alone, you.
I've studied this. Why are liberals still pretending like this kind of appropriation is something to be concerned about, or that stopping it provides any sort of benefit to the, quote, victim of the appropriation? When Jerry Lee Lewis ripped off Big May Bell, we had a problem. Or when Liz Warren pretended to be a Harvard diversity hire, we had a problem. But white celebrities appropriating culture like this never hurts the culture being appropriated. Okay. Tell that to Justin Timberlake. Tell that to Eminem. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of people. This is what this guy's problem is just really.
He's kind of all over the place. He's
yeah,
not really
it's like liberal. I wasn't saying that I had a problem with Adele. I was just saying, like, if we're talking about the cancellation Olympics. She's the cancellation game. She's a red card, or it's a flagrant one. It's not. She wasn't kicked out of the game. He goes on to say, I remember Killer Mike saying that he wanted more white clientele at his barbershops because they'll pay $60 for a haircut. If Adele makes this kind of hairstyle more popular among a white audience, all she's doing is facilitating the injection of money into the very community she's supposedly harming. Why are you trying to harm these? Again, this guy's making all kinds of associations.
What the fuck are you talking about?
So now I'm harming black barbers or black hairstylists as if white people couldn't do that.
First of all, she did Bantu knots, which are, I didn't love the Bantu knots. I didn't love them. I don't want more white people getting Bantu knots and injecting money into. First of all, they're not going to go to an African hair shop.
Yeah, that's what this guy fails to realize, which we've talked about repeatedly, is it's white people make money off of this shit. They make money off of
doesn't go to
musical
black
genres.
people.
It's not Eminem. Actually, Dr. Dre made some money off it, but most of Eminem's money went to Eminem and Interscope.
Right. Jimmy Iovine.
Yes. So that's not black people benefiting.
Also, I don't understand when they rip off black culture.
Mm-hmm.
When they rip off black culture, it doesn't go, and it never trickles back down to black people. It goes to fashion and in
white people just steal
magazines.
the design.
They just
don't
steal
go.
it.
Why you steal? Then you're trying to keep this money out of black. No, it's never going to black people.
No.
What will happen here in the Killer Mike example is, as you said, white girls will learn how to do Bantu knots. And the other thing about after Elizabeth Warren, there's no problem. If Jerry Lee Lewis rips up Big May Bell,
I have no idea who that is.
But Justin Timberlake isn't ripping off black R&B?
When Jesse Williams said that whole thing, and Justin Timberlake just wrote "Inspired," and then he got
hammered. Yeah.
And I remember someone that we know, but not the person we've been talking about. Anyways, a famous person was at the store, and he was saying how he was chatting with Justin Timberlake about it, and was like, "Dude, like I felt so bad for him," and blah blah blah. And even Justin was like, "I get it."
Yeah.
Like he's saying, "I get it" in a fucking mansion.
Yeah.
He's fine.
How about by this guy's like, how about Iggy Azalea? Is she fine? Because, T.I. made some money there. So
made a lot of money.
Let's not get rid of her because one black person's making money. It's not about one. Very rarely does a black person make any money. And oftentimes, if a black person's making some money, a white person's making a lot of money.
Also, you weren't. I just really didn't feel like you were virtue signaling.
I wasn't virtue signaling at all. I don't give a shit.
My point was let the Jamaicans in England handle it.
Yeah.
You know I play the bongos. Did you know that?
You do?
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody does.
No, I went to classes.
I think we
You've got mail.
Neal, I was with you in defense of Crystalia. A lot of smoke, but not much fire. That was up until the last accusation. If there's any truth to them, damn. It's all caps.
Darn.
Hard to defend him anymore. You may feel different because you know him personally, but as someone who enjoyed his comedy, is going to be hard not to think of what he allegedly did when trying to watch a stand-up. Okay. So watch mine.
Wow, Neal.
I spoke to Delia the other day, and I'm not gonna say any more. There's I won't even get it because people just the snippet but bless you. Watch. As I told Delia on the phone, thanks for letting me catch up a little bit career-wise. It was thoughtful of him to allow to have masturbated 10 years ago and given his old buddy Neal. That's right. Thank you. And again, if you have any information on Ali Wong or John Mulaney, please come forward and help me.
You've got mail.
This is about AOC. Obama shared his Netflix brackets and stuff. Or, I'm sorry, NCAA brackets.
I was like, what?
His NCAA brackets and stuff. List of his favorite songs of the year, etc. What if makeup is just a hobby, perhaps geared more toward one gender like sports? She's essentially engaging and sharing her thoughts on something real quick. If it's just an interesting hobby, she knows a portion of her voters are interested in and is one of the attempt to be relatable things politicians share. For a lot of middle and lower class women, makeup is a lot like sports. I'm pretty sure this guy's a guy, so he has no fucking idea what he's talking about.
Makeup is a lot like sports?
Yeah, again,
wow.
That's proof that
and
it's not a woman.
Lower class women?
Lower class women. You know how lower class women are. It's like sports for them. It's not about actual looking prettier because they're lower class. How could they look prettier to conform or sell magazine to look like a model? It's just a fun thing to learn about, talk about.
Who the
Only middle and lower class women.
Lower class, you know what I'm saying.
Different than doing SNL, a performance of acting or comedy, blah, 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 as a journalist. That's just dumb. I think this is slightly different. I got bad news for this guy. I fucking hated Obama's NCAA brackets. Every time he did it, I just thought, go be president. Go fucking be president. I think the fact that anyone thinks his lists are cool is that it's like, why do I care what a 60-year-old black guy is listening to music-wise? I just never understood. Like, he's not a fucking connoisseur. He's a former professor who doesn't have a especially good taste, and it's fine. But it's not like, oh wow, go on Pitchfork. This motherfucker hears everything. And then the news people. I don't know what he's getting into, but this guy.
He's just saying like, everybody does it.
Right, but I'm saying no one should do it.
He's saying it so badly, though.
It's one of the worst letters we've ever gotten.
Lower class women, makeup is a lot like
Shame.
sports.
Hey, whoever you are, go sit on your roof for an hour. You're on punishment.
You're on
Goodbye.
timeout for that one.
Watch Dalia's special on your roof. A lot of the stuff. Here you go. Here's another one. Oh, here's another. Apologize.
You've got mail.
A lot of stuff you get wrong requires a long explanation, but you guys don't read long emails.
Yeah, we do.
You discourage long emails, which makes sense. A short email can't always lay out how twisted something you said was, but don't mistake that for being correct. It's easy to say you don't have to agree with us, but when what you're saying is it's disrespectful or dignified for a 33-year-old, or it's respectful or dignified for a 33-year-old man to date a child or to DM a girl who has photos of herself standing by lockers on high school grounds with her high school named on social media, an obvious teenager, that's not something people are going to shrug off and say, well, I don't agree. It's shocking to hear someone so casually excuse predatory behavior. I don't think either of you understand that. It'd be one thing if you were excusing behavior no one was complained about. She fucked up. But when the young girls come forward saying these men were harmful and you still make excuses for it, still downplay it, don't act like all the hate mail is coming from irrational people who just can't tolerate any disagreement. This woman's been trying to come at. Lady.
There's 3 things happening here.
You want to go first?
Okay. One, what isn't she mad about?
Uh-huh.
The long emails. We're just saying that sometimes they're too long. So
ignore that.
Ignore. I just feel like she's bad faith interpreting us because I don't.
Of
think
course,
we're
it's also
anything.
We never excused anything Dalia did.
We did.
And the thing where I said it's respectable or dignified, if you can find video of me saying that any sort of proof. Where I said it's respectable or dignified for a 33-year-old to date a 15-year-old, name your price. Literally name your price. Because I'll give it to you. She'll go, you kind of implied it. No, I didn't. I said maybe there's something to be said. And then, by the way, we cut it out, lady. So we cut it out of the podcast for different reasons, and so it's gone. It's out of the public record. So I can't normalize that kind of behavior. You know who you could also write this to? The cops or the DA. If you're so mad at these people, then write to people who can do something rather than someone who's just bullshitting about it.
Yeah.
We're not, but the fact that you wasted your time and are like, I don't think you get, okay, what if I don't get it? Then what? What if I don't get it? What happens? What happens if Neil Brennan, a comedian who lives in Venice, California, come and try to find me, doesn't understand the predatory behavior of my friends? This is not something I engaged in. And by the way, I do understand it. But let's say I didn't. Then what? Then what would happen? What are you worried about? That I'm going to be on a jury? That I'm going to publicly say I like it? What are you worried about? Walk me downstream from here.
I mean, also, we're not making excuses like she's framing it. I think as a podcast culture, we are against cancel culture. We don't like jumping the gun. And then we're also hypocrites because I'm also like, dox these racist bitches,
Right.
you know? So
Gypsies.
we just, no, shut up. No, I love my gypsies. I love my gypsy
You guys
people.
know my heart. Mine is my gypsy heart.
No, so I just think she's.
She
just
this.
like
I think this
not-
lady's written before. She's tried to DM me. It's like, lady, what are you trying? Why are you holding what I say as particularly meaningful? I didn't write to the New York Times and try to publicize this. I'm not a member of NAMBLA. It's the
Yeah.
North American
No, I
Man
know,
Boy
yeah,
Love
yeah,
Association.
It's disgusting.
I'm not. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's good. I've never done it myself. So what? And also, if I did believe it, then what? Then what? It's like people who it was illegal to smoke weed. There were some people that were fine with smoking weed, and some people who still thought it should be illegal. I'm not one of those people, but what do you do when something's illegal and you think it's stupid? I'm not one of those people. But again, I don't understand why she's fixated on us. It's like, lady, take the time you wrote. There's quotes, she parenthesized things, 3 paragraphs. She really thought,
Yeah.
write
There's
to a
hyphen.
congressman. Yeah, there's hyphens out this motherfucker.
My thing is like, dude, on this podcast, if you listened, we tackle these sort of things, these Me Too situations.
Tackle's even a big word.
Yeah. Sometimes we barely
we
fucking.
slapple.
We while we drink Snapple. We just don't like cancel culture. All while being full of shit. But we do our best to try to not join the mob and relax and look at it rationally and see, okay, what do we got? What are we working with?
Yeah, why do
What
you
we-
do you
what
want
do
do
we
you
do?
listen to podcasts so that I condemn laws that have been broken? Why would you listen to something that just like, and here's a jaywalker, that's wrong.
Right.
And then
also-
did you see this guy? He's wrong. Who gives a shit?
We're trying to do something here, which is maybe like a different take at this thing that's part of our culture, which goes into cancel culture.
But
and
I
Me
don't
Too and
even
all that
think
shit.
we're consciously trying to go.
No,
a different
not at
way.
all. But when I look
just
back at
don't-
it, I just know we're not sitting there with the motive of, we're not actively, let's have a discussion. We're just actively not, when we look back and I listen to our take on things, it's just to take our time and like figure out what the fuck is going on. That's all. We're not, it's
bring up
condemning.
hypotheticals.
We're not the judge, jury, executioner.
Lady, again,
I don't understand.
you're the irresponsible one because you're so passionate about this and yet choose to write into podcasts about it.
Also, I would
There are two, to your mind, two predatory sex criminals on the streets right now. And what did you do? I wrote into a podcast that made glancing comments that was condemn both of them.
I mean, the thing is, I think I'm happy to get scrappy and talk with someone about or respond to an actual specific email. But this just seems
She's just mad.
shaming and upset,
Yeah.
and she seems upset from a while ago. So I don't know where the conversation
She
should go.
wants an apology, and unfortunately, she came to the wrong place. Not always. We'll apologize. We have a song.
Goodbye. You've got mail.
RSTNLE, you've read several of my questions on the
So
pod
many
and
long
helped me
ones.
through a couple tough choices, so I figure I'd come to y'all with an issue that has caused me a lot of distress. I'm 24-year-old and currently in my last year of law school. I went to law school with the sole intention of becoming a public defender. My brother was arrested while I was in college for robbing a bank, Jesus, in the midst of a serious addiction to heroin, and is currently serving a 15-year sentence.
Dude, sucks.
It's Crohn's.
It's
I
Crohn's.
saw the ins and outs of the criminal justice system and developed a passion for the subject that I knew I had to pursue. I spent the first 2 years of law school interning at the public defender's office in my county, and I absolutely loved everything about it. Long story short, I was planning on continuing to work there this past summer, but in the early stages of COVID, I was offered and accepted a high-paying clerkship with a law firm that defends corporations. like an airline and an insurance company against personal injury lawsuits. Boy, oh boy.
Wow.
Yeah, I went from trying to save indigent civilians from jail to lower middle class women from jail who love makeup for sport. To trying to keep huge companies from paying the medical bills of innocent people that were hurt. My issue is this: do I stay with this firm given the uncertainty of the economic future of the country, or do I go back to public interest sector and do what I am passionate about, despite the drop in pay and prestige?
Okay.
Go,
dude. You're just gonna have to dance with the devil a little bit. Everyone does it. Whether you're in business, entertainment, people take awful jobs that pay money. But just
I directed a Popeyes commercial.
Louisiana fast.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm vegan.
Right. It's hilarious.
It's a problem.
Get in all the money. If people are going to throw money at you, take it all in.
Yeah.
Get to a point where you're good and then dedicate yourself. I feel like a lot of there was like an interview with Scott Conn. Is that his son? Yeah. He was saying that he does shitty work so he can just do indie films and passion projects that he wants to do. It's like you gotta take from someone, or you don't have to. I have friends that are social workers.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. This is the story of morals. Basically, this is what happens. This is why I can't wait for all the Gen Z millennials who have all this fairness, and it's like everyone's for fairness until they have kids. And then they're like, fuck, I got to feed these motherfuckers. I need to get money to feed these motherfuckers.
But it's almost like, I'm down with a Robin Hooding.
My worry, and as it usually happens, is it takes too long to get enough money to do the right thing. It just takes too long.
And you get stuck in there. You get used to lifestyle.
Used to lifestyle, and you start spending more. So what I would suggest is flip it where do the right thing for 5-8 years and then start back on the wrong thing.
So this is where you're not taking into consideration the fact that people ageism is real, and people like to hire young people, especially in those kind of jobs. So they're not going to want you in 10 years as much as they'll want a young, scrappier person there's ageism.
Yeah.
That's why most people I worked for a consulting firm.
I think you just lie in your resume.
Just do a chemical peel that costs $100.
Do a chemical peel on your resume. I know of a woman who pretended to be black. Many.
R.I.P. Queen. Yeah, when I was in consulting, everybody did 3 to 7 years of awful, very lucrative work. That sucked. And then everyone just did now they can go do their own private thing, or they can go into a smaller company that they like, and they still get that they still get the money because they're important, but not as much. But so I don't know. I feel like you can find a strategy here. She's a lawyer, right?
I think it's a guy. I think my worry, I still stand by my thing because you won't get hooked on the lifestyle.
True.
Whereas there's a very high chance you'll get hooked on the lifestyle, and then you'll get married and you'll have kids, and then you'll be like, well, fuck the indigent, those middle and lower class women who like makeup for sport.
Did you see that one, the Cambridge?
Who's your favorite makeup team, by the way? Mine's L'Oreal.
I like Elf.
Elf. I don't know about Elf.
Elf is good. And then there's a bunch of Pat McGrath. This is a black owned makeup.
She's biting from she's appropriating Irish names.
Okay. So wait, you cut me off.
I don't think I think I still vote that you should do the public defender first.
Okay.
That's just me.
Goodbye.
Let's do one more.
You've got mail.
Oh, this is a good one. Yeah, read it.
Dear, it's so loud. Can you turn that down? Dear Neal and Bianca, the face sitter, RSTLNE. I've watched 2 Neal shows in SF.
Nice, thank you.
LOL at Bianca struggling to remember Stevie Wonder's name in episode 68. Okay, context. I am a 29-year-old black male working in the Yay area tech race because why not? Dating a girl for a few months. She's 28 and white. She's in med school and absolutely terrible at texting back 2 to 3 days and making time for me. She swears she's still interested in me, but just genuinely not good at the above. Question: how do I help her get better at responding, time management, but also not look too needy? Really not looking to go back to Bumble Hinge in the age of COVID. How Neal feel and what the face sitter thinker. P.S. Bianca, please don't go to the wedding. It was this weekend. I can't go anymore. Okay, guys?
I hope you got COVID in Oakland.
No, I tested negative.
This is one of the rare cases where I would say don't read anything into it.
Yeah, she's in med school.
Like it's like, dude, they're fucking. You ever watch? If you watch Lenox Hill, you'll see the hours these people put in.
But I would. Oh, go ahead.
Just let it. If you like her, just. Deal with it.
Some people, though, 2 to 3 days drives them crazy and it hits their anxiety. So I would say maybe this isn't the right fit.
Yes, you're not going to change her though. Don't
try.
Don't try.
Just tell her like, hey, this kind of bothers me. Like, can have an honest to God conversation. If she's like, I like you, this is when I have time, it is what it is, then take it or leave it, buddy.
Or you could do what men have been doing for hundreds of years, which is shaming a woman out of her interests and desires and putting his before hers. You could try that.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Neal knows what's up.
Shame her. Shame her.
Goodbye.
Oh, this is
You've got mail.
This is another one, which is like a girl said she had to think about it, which is
cut to the meat and potatoes of it.
A girl he told a girl he liked her. She goes, "Let me think about it," which that's not a good sign.
That's not a good sign.
Unless she's in med school, it's not good.
Yeah, exactly.
If a girl talks to you like that, the one question you have to ask is, "Hey, are you in med school?" And if she's not, she don't want to see your dick. Hey, Neal, Bianca, Jay here again, as if we know. Even though Bianca is Jay. Even though Bianca is waiting and taking her time watching it, no shade. I'm watching the Vox HBO documentary about the Nexium cult, and I'm genuinely befuddled. Most cult documentaries I chalk up to some white people with low self-esteem shit. However, this is the first cult documentary where I can actually understand how people were misled and indoctrinated by the cult of personality. Still, it begs the question, why the fuck and how the fuck can you be so enthralled by a person's character that you give thousands of dollars in time and drive yourself to the point of exhaustion and suffering just to please someone you admire? And it seemed like the fact that they were celebrities that were part of it that influenced people even more. What are you guys' thoughts? Since you guys have been around more, I feel like if Will Smith started a church, he'd have more than 10,000 parishioners in a day just because he's Will Smith. You are correct, sir. And while attention is a currency, charisma is the greatest commodity a human being can possess.
Yeah.
Across the board. Definition of charisma is you want to say yes before you know what the question is.
Yeah.
And if you have charisma, you can write your own ticket. You can be tall. If someone said, would you rather be 6'8" or charismatic? Charismatic. Because if you're charismatic, you're 1,000,000 feet tall.
Remember when you read that book and on
Charisma
being charmed?
Code.
Yeah, and you did it, and
Bianca,
it was so funny.
I do remember.
He went around and was like, to be charismatic and
you have to
charming,
remember people's names.
You have to remember people's names, and then he made a chart with all these people's names that worked at the store.
Yeah,
and he didn't even know any of their names.
Well, because I only studied once, and you joke. I thought about yesterday during COVID. This is a good time to bone up on some staff's name.
No, this is what you got to do. You just gotta say it immediatly. Oh, da da da, and then say it again. No. Oh, really?
I need to write shit down.
You know what I do? I do that's why I give nicknames.
Yeah, but then you're George W. Bush.
Well,
here's a new one based on effective communication. This is my screensaver.
What?
My lock screen.
Not words, not actions. Tone.
Tone, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. It's like Neal had a lobotomy or something.
It's off, too.
Oh, well, fuck you.
You
What do you want?
suck.
What do you want?
Boo.
This isn't worth it.
Yeah, no, it is. Show it. Just put it in later or send it in a picture.
It's everything.
It's funny. I was watching Love on the Spectrum,
Uh-huh.
and a lady comes with them and sits and is like, no, you have to ask her, how is she? When you don't just start talking, and they are like taking notes. And you're kind of like that when it comes to certain random things. Like if it makes sense to you, you're like, oh, that's
Yes.
actually a good note to take forward with me to be more effective at communicating or whatever. And then you actively do homework.
You have to. I have to.
impressive.
I don't think anything. This is why I don't like fat people.
No, we
The
already
overweight,
said.
the weight, the over of weight.
We already said.
Yeah, I'm kidding. But it is. I'm going to get. My tone is better than it was a month ago. All right. Well, as usual, guys, we still don't have to take this shit. We wish you a blessed week.
Goodbye.
How you feel? How you feel? How you feel?